Back, ladies and gentlemen, to day 96 of Vibe Coding an App Until I Make $1 Million. Today, we're going to be working on a very interesting part of ViewCreator, which is the agentic functionality. So if you look up at the goals behind me, we have the agents workflow, and we are now at the point, if you guys watched the stream yesterday, the NS stream, something that NS and I were talking about was this idea that we had of, hey, it's now easier than ever to build, but the marketing side of things in this AI revolution is still not there. And one of the main driving factors of why we have created ViewCreator is because we want to automate social media and marketing with AI. And we want to make it very, very easy for creators, brands, businesses to be able to scale on social media and be able to create content at scale and grow their social media platforms. So with that being said, let me get a couple things launched on my end. We're going to launch Docker here and get things going. But something I want to talk about this morning is I have written up on the board here 100 on 100. And it's interesting. We have been doing this series now for 96 days, right? And we've spent 96 days working and 96 days moving forward, making progress. And I wrote up 100 on 100 this morning because, sometimes it's hard to see the progress day to day. But if you show up every day, if you continue to keep moving forward, like we talked about yesterday, and you stack 100 days on 100 days, if you just put that 100-day period as almost one unit of time, then you see the progress, right? And then you can say, okay, here's what I was able to accomplish in that one unit of time, which in our case is 100 days. So, if we're going to be hitting the 100-day mark this week. And, I was just thinking about that this morning because it's very important to think about, right? It's like, hey, it's pretty hard to gain a ton of progress really fast. It doesn't usually happen, right? So I think it's important to just kind of take a step back and think about, okay, how can I make progress in the next 100 days, right? And instead of putting a bunch of pressure on yourself, instead of putting, a bunch of goals that may be longer term goals, which you want to accomplish, if you don't have that longevity, if you don't have the staying power, then you're going to end up quitting. So you have to think about stacking 100 days on 100 days, and that's exactly what we're doing. The Kenneth York, how's it going? NS is awesome. Yeah, J35, what's up? You guys miss NS. The Awaken, how's it going? What's up? The NS stream was fun. Yeah, the last stream was crazy. I'm glad that you guys liked it. Yeah, that was crazy. So, something that we're going to be working on today. So I just want to sign into my ViewCreator account because we were talking, yesterday we weren't able to work a ton just because NS was, doing some demos and we were having a good time with NS. And we just had a fun stream, to celebrate hitting 10,000 subscribers. It has been a journey. And, I think that, back to 100 on 100, it's like, hey, what are we going to be able to accomplish in the next 100 days as a community, right? And I think it's going to be a lot. I think that we're going to be able to do a lot. But just as a reminder as well, today we are having our project sharing event at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this, again, every Sunday, we as a community get together and we give 6 people the opportunity to come onto the stream and present the vibe coding projects that they're working on. And this is always a good reminder for us to see what other people are doing, what other people are building, and also just what's possible with AI. So with that being said, guys, let's get right into what we want to work on. I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Ayush, how's it going? What's up? Today's my attendance. Let's go. And Ricky, how's it going? Blasi, what's up? How's it going? Aman said, I can't decide what to do. I am confused in my career. How can you decide what you like? I think that's a good question. Let's lower the desk down real quick. But also, I changed up the FBI cam a little bit. You guys can see a little bit of the setup here today. Super Combo Gamer, what's up, man? How's it going? Good to see you. But yeah, I think that's a good question of like, hey, how do you figure out what you like? What do you want to do? I think that's a good question. But, back to, it's just, hey, you got to figure out you have to ask yourself the question, hey, what do you like to do? And what are you passionate about? And then start to figure out how you can build your career around that, right? And I think that you guys are kind of seeing that. Like, hey, what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about building, creating, vibe coding, inspiring others. And, BridgeMind has come as a result of that, right? And I'm kind of forging my own path. J35 said, anyone who wants to present can message Jesse Headmon in Discord for the lineup. PNK Sounds, what's up? Premium, what's up? So here's what we're talking about today. You know, we were looking at this on stream yesterday, and as you guys know, like this is going to be the main focus of this stream. So we have this agentic workflow, which actually was a big deal when we first started out and first started working on it, right? Because, you know, here you can add these different steps, but we haven't come back to this and said, okay, what can we, you know, we built it really fast and it does work, right? Like if I go over to, let's just go back to agents here and I'll go like, let's just do looking back meme, right? Okay, so this agent, if I go to edit, I'll show you how it works. So it has start and then it has an image that's passed in and it's supposed to update an image, right? So let's go back and let's run the agent and I'll show you guys what it actually creates. And what it does is it takes a viral meme and it edits it in the context of making it about ViewCreator, right? And so like here, for example, this one didn't turn out very well, but you can see like, hey, it took that viral meme of like the looking back meme, it put the ViewCreator logo on the woman. Here it says me trying to, I think this meant to say go viral, and then other strategies was right here. I mean, we can rerun it and see if it does better on the second run. Let's do a rerun here. Let's run the agent again and see what it does. But you guys can see here, like, we have not visited this functionality in a long time. And I think that what we want to try to do today is we want to see, hey, can we actually make it so that we could make it where, let's say you're able to schedule the agent to run on its own. It's a job. And not only, okay, this one's decent. Yeah, previous editor, creator, ViewCreator. So, I mean, like, you guys get the context, right? And this is just one example. But when NS was on the stream, it was really interesting yesterday because he was saying, you know, he was talking about his apps. And it's like, hey, in modern day marketing, you know, we've been taking an interesting approach to our marketing because what we've been trying to do is we've been doing, like, a lot of demos, right? So we've been, like, you know, let me pull up ViewCreator demo here. Also, Jesse, what's up? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Blocker Taz, what's up, man? Super Combo said for the agent, let it have a timer so it expires every day at 10 a.m. It will create an image post. Yeah, so it could be a cron job, right? It could be a cron job. So let's see here. So let's just go like to ViewCreator, right? Let's pull up ViewCreator, and like what we've been doing is we've been doing like a lot of these demo videos, right? But I think that, you know, modern day marketing on things like TikTok does look a little bit different than it used to a while ago. For example, you know, modern day marketing, if we go to TikTok, you know, NS was showing us some really interesting things yesterday. I think we have it in our downloads, and he was showing us this. Like, here, let me pull up Finder, and we can just go back to what NS was talking about yesterday, because I think that he actually has some really, really good ideas. And let's see here, documents. Okay, where is it? It was one of these. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one. So this is what NS was showing us. So, for example, you know, this is a format that is working on social media, right? This is a format that's working on social media. Also, if you guys have not already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. I'm about to drop the link to the Discord, and just as a reminder, we are doing our project sharing event today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you'd be interested in sharing your project, make sure you join the Discord, and you can hit up Jesse Pinkman, our head moderator, and he will get you lined up. We have 6 people that are going to be presenting today. Matcher Bud said, what you're building is really amazing. I love the idea. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So, you know, really what this is like you can see, and we were talking about this on stream yesterday, but NS was saying, hey, this is a format that works, right? And what I found interesting is this is like just this is just some, let's just call it like an attractive girl, right? And she is taking a photo of her in her room, and it says things I wish someone told me before I started posting, right? And this is a slideshow carousel, and I want to kind of like, let's take a step back. You have like, let's say 4 images like this. They have a little sound behind it. And then in the description, there's some information and then a call to action, right? And I think what we're going to need to do, and what's really important, and what's the long-term vision of ViewCreator, is can we automate social media marketing to the point where it makes it very, very easy for us to be able to market ViewCreator, and then it would make it much easier for content creators, for brands, and other businesses to be able to market their brands and their platforms on social media as well. And you know, how you do that is there's UGC, and internal UGC is huge now because it's all about getting views. And even something that NS said yesterday on the stream, which I thought was really interesting, is he had something written on his wrist. I don't know if you guys saw it, but you probably could go back on the stream yesterday, and he had something written on his wrist, which was really interesting. It was RPV. And, you know, I actually asked him off the stream, I was like, why do you have RPV and Sharpie written on your wrist? And he said, it's revenue per view. And he's like, listen, it's all about revenue per view. And, you know, he has some really interesting ideas about marketing. And it was really interesting to hear his perspective because he has a lot of different apps. And really the subject of, if you missed yesterday's stream, the subject of discussion yesterday was just this idea of how easy it is to build now, but it is still very difficult to market. And even like J35, you know, you and I were talking the other day about how, hey, it's 30% building and then 75% marketing. And I think that there's seriously some truth to that. So I want to show you guys like what is possible, right? Like, let's say you have a format that works. Also, NGO, what's up, man? How's it going? Abdul, yeah, I use cursor. So like, let's take this, right? And let's now see, can we replicate that format just using like, let's say Nano Banana Pro, right? So you just take that image and you're able to drag and drop that image. Let's see here. All right, so it's this right here. All right, so this here, so this image, and then what you do is you can go and you can say portrait, and then replicate this image, but make the content about going viral on TikTok, right? Like tips for going viral on TikTok or something like that, right? So we're dropping in this image and we're saying, hey, this is a format that's working, and what we want to see that we can do is, hey, could you reverse engineer and then automate the posting, right? And that's ultimately the goal. And we've set a goal for ourselves of, hey, you know, we want to do this by January 1st of 2026. We want ViewCreator to the point where it's polished up and like we can really start using it to push, right? To push marketing. And we're not quite there yet, you know, even on yesterday's stream. And look what just came through. So look at this. So this was the original image, and then this is what it created, right? So it replicated this girl, and it just changed up the content. Things I wish someone told me about going viral on TikTok, right? And my point with this is that you can replicate content that is working, and then the AI can reformat it so it's a little bit different every time. And then we could even build agentic systems that do things like add music, that automate the scheduling, that post for you, where you can just set it to run the agent like at a certain time every day. And I think that for us, what is probably going to end up happening this week is we're going to start like trying to use this agentic system. And what's frustrating is, and let me check real quick, but we're going to check, hey, are we verified on TikTok yet? Also, Enrique said $100 million series by Alex Hormozy is great for early stage marketing and sales. I'm sure you've seen it, but it's great info about getting your first X customers, getting testimonials, etc. Yeah. Do posting apps on Play Store take money? I don't think it does, no. So, you know, it does take, like, I think you have to get the subscription, but, you know, you can see, hey, we were able to replicate this. And now the question is, hey, could we make it so that today, and I think that we can, but with our agent system, it's been so long since we actually visited that functionality. The tools are better. We're better at software development. You know, we can do this. Max said NS part 2 when? Probably, we'll see. I mean, NS had a great time on the stream. You know, I really appreciate you guys being welcoming of him. But probably soon. I mean, that's not the last time that you guys are going to see NS, that's for sure. So, you know, the question is, hey, you can create these workflows, which is great. But the thing is we haven't revisited this in a while. And I think that we need to revisit it today. And we need to see, if you read the description, you know, one goal of today is, hey, can we get this so we not only can like create the images and stuff, but could we make it so that you could say, like, if I go back to my agents page, what if agents, instead of just being like agents like they are now, what if the sole purpose of them was for these automations, right? Like right now, like look at this. This one's like a pretty good one. Like if I run this agent, so this one's called the ViewCreator Instagram Viral Content Agent, right? And I just made this one, right? And it runs and it's got a multi-step workflow. But the thing is once it gets to the end of the workflow, like for example, it creates a plan and then it writes a description and then it's going to create 3 images, right? And we haven't visited this content in a while. So really what it was initially is, hey, it does this, right? Like you can say, hey, here's the description, which is pretty good. Ever wonder why your posting go viral while your neighbor's cat's pic did? You know, that's pretty funny, you know, and then it creates, you know, this content I think the question that we have to ask ourselves is, how can we get this so it's like genuinely like a complete automation, right? So here's like slide 2, and you know, and this is the thing, is like one thing that we do know and that we talk about often is that ViewCreator is a long-term project. And even with NS on the stream yesterday, I was actually feeling really good just about this idea of, hey, if we turn back the clock about why we started creating ViewCreator, it's because of this sole fact that it's easier than ever to build, but it's still very difficult to market. And I think that if we can figure out how to build a platform that we can use to market ViewCreator, that we can use to market our own apps, I think that will do the world a good thing, right? And that's why ViewCreator, it's like, hey, it's a long-term project because, hey, we're using an image generator right now, and look at all the issues with these image generators. Look at this, blindfolded. What is that supposed to be? And, you know, Nano Banana Pro is better. It's 15 cents an image. You know, this is using Nano Banana Edit is the endpoint that this is using. But, I mean, this one turned out decent. Growth Accelerators has a Rubik's Cube. I mean, that one's okay, right? That one's decent. But you guys can see, like, hey, there are a lot of problems with this. Yeah, NS is gone. Am I going to have a free tier? Yeah, NS is loved by the people. Yeah, NS is like my closest friend, so. And Ricky said, what about an email notification that says you have X post to review with a summary of the agent post, then you approve them, and it auto-scheduled everything based on the queue? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we take it a step further and just say, hey, like, literally just complete automation. J35 said, I thought NS might have convinced you to build mobile apps too. He had good views about mobile apps. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, the way that I see it is that because we're very, very early on in the beginning of BridgeMind and what BridgeMind is going to become, hey, we don't know what's going to happen in 2026. You know, we could get ViewCreator to the point where ViewCreator is, you know, ready to be pushed. And we could, I mean, it's so easy to build apps. You know, it does take a little bit of time to get them on the App Store, but we could then end up, you know, using ViewCreator to market the apps and then just build like, you know, a ton of apps, right? I mean, there's just, I don't know, there's a ton of stuff that we do. Thriving15 said, hey man, great stuff. Do you use a vector DB in your implementation? If you do, which one do you use specifically? No, I use Postgres. So, you know, let's take a look at this. And what I'm thinking about is if we reworked the agent so that it made a little bit more sense to the end user, right? And when I say when it made a little bit more sense to the end user, like if we go over to Post, I want to show you guys something really interesting. So go over to Post, and what you guys are going to see is, look at this. You guys see how you select a brand profile, and this probably can take some improvements as well. But, you know, we take a brand profile and then you choose the content format, right? You choose the content format, and let's say, you know, you're doing a short video, and then you select which platforms it's going to go on, right? And this wizard is helpful. It's okay. But something that I'm thinking about is, what if we made it so that when you're doing agents and when you're creating an agent, instead of it just like launching to this screen here, what if we had templates that were ready similar to what I just showed you guys, where, hey, let's say with posts, you know, it says, hey, you know, what would you like to create, right? What would you like to create? And what if agents were solely for automated content creation and posting? Do you guys see what I'm saying? Where you would create an agent, and in our agent table, there would now be an enum of like, okay, what template is this, right? Are they creating a single image? Are they creating a text only? What platforms is this going out on? So that, you know, instead of, if we go back to our agents page, what you guys are going to see is, like, right now we have a couple different nodes. If I go to add step here, you know, create image, create video, create description, create title, create plan, right? And what I'm saying is that these are probably going to have to be changed, and these are probably going to actually have to go away completely. And ultimately, you're going to work backwards from what you want. So let's say that you want to create a slideshow carousel for TikTok, or let's say that you want to create a slideshow for Instagram, right? You know, or carousel for Instagram, right? Those are different things, right? And I think that you have to work backwards on what does the end user actually want to create? What do they want to do? And if we just fully focus on making it as easy as possible for the person creating, then I think that that's a win, right? I think that that's a big win. So I don't know what you guys think. Have I played with the Agent SDK yet? I have not. You know, OpenAI, I'm a little bit cautious right now of OpenAI. I'm cautious on what they're doing, but let's start to kind of just, ideate a little bit, and let's use Composer 1 for a little bit and just kind of figure out, hey, what could we do? What do we want to do? And how can we actually implement what we're talking about here? Because we're going to have to take a look first at our database entities and see, okay, how would this look? Like here we have agent steps. So let's just drop in entities real quick. What are all of the entities that are related to our agent entity and agent functionality? Max said Grock 4.2 soon and Grock 5 being trained to Colossus. Yeah, I saw that. Apparently, GPT 5.2 is going to drop on Tuesday as well. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but Grock 4 or GPT 5.2 is coming out on Tuesday this week. So we're definitely going to be using that on Tuesday. Whenever they drop it, I'll have like a vibe coding with ChatGPT or GPT 5.2. It'll be interesting. I mean, they literally released GPT 5.1 and it did worse in LM Arena than GPT 5, which is interesting. J35 said exactly, agents pre-created, or I would also love a community marketplace where other users can create agents for certain automation and post it for other users to import and use. Yeah. Hung said, oh, the one from Anthropic. I have not used the one from Anthropic. Is it any good? So you have an agent, and then you have an agent step, and then you have agent runs. So you guys see this? So you have agent step, and then agent run. Okay. Now, what about the enums? What enums are associated with agents? Blocker Taz said OpenAI is mad right now. Yeah, OpenAI is struggling right now for sure. Super Combo Gamer said Elon posted on X yesterday that Grock 4.2 is 3 to 4 weeks out. OpenAI is rumored to release a model on the 9th. Yep. Yeah, so Tuesday is going to be a big day for us. Test the new model. All right, agent run status, agent run step. Where's the agent? Yeah, the purpose. So this is what we really want to look at. Like these are the nodes, right? What I was just showing you guys. So these are the nodes. So create image, create video, create description, create title, create plan. And what I'm saying is, hey, if you actually want to create a useful agentic workflow that automates different social media post types, then you need to work backwards. Like, hey, each one of these, like let's say that you're creating a carousel, or let's say that you're just doing a single post, right? Well, a single post, like just an image, is gonna be different than what a carousel agent run would look like. And I think that what we wanna do is, with that end goal in mind of automating social media marketing, I think we have to work backwards into that, right? So instead of having these, which we will have these, like create image, create video, I think we still will have these, but it does need to change quite a bit. And also another thing that I want to do today is I do want to test our ViewCreator Genesis. So I do need to check out main here. Hold on. Fetch. Let's go to the main branch. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Offer John said GPT 5.2. Hope it comes hard. Yeah, they better do something big. Sound Inspector said, "Dang, already GPT 5.2. We're moving forward, really." Yeah. I mean, they literally have to release it. They have to. This model returned an error. All right. Nice. J35 said there is news for Gemini 3.0 Flash 2. Let's see next week. Will be crazy for sure. Yeah. Super Combo said that Gemini 3 Flash would be great since it'll be faster and cheaper for everyday use through the API and the Flash image model as well. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. All right, so we're going to rebuild this, and then I'm actually going to be using Cursor most of the day. You know, my Cursor plan is about to reset. Cursor is definitely my favorite IDE, 100%. Do I do project review? We're doing project sharing today. So for those of you that are in the BridgeMind Discord, we are doing a project sharing event today. So as you guys know, we do this every Sunday, and we're going to be lining up about 6 people today to be able to share their projects publicly on the stream. All right, so I want to test this, but really, we need to go back to this conversation because, hey, what are we looking at? And I actually want to kind of map this out a little bit because I think that this is going to be a little bit of a complicated system, and it's going to take some thought. It's going to take a lot of thought, but I think that we can get it. So I'm just going to kind of map this out for you guys and share the perspective that I have, okay? So if we want completely automated, right, then we know that at the end, we are going to have to do job scheduling, right? Job scheduling. And job scheduling and posting, which means like, hey, you're going to be going through this agent workflow, and then what happens at the end of the agent workflow, it's going to need to actually be able to integrate with our job scheduling for the social media APIs, right? So what that means is that users are going to have to select which platform, they're going to have to select which format type they are wanting to do for that agent, which is why we need the different templates, right? So if I go back to post, we have this already, choose content format, because for each of these different content formats, you do have different possibilities. Like, hey, you don't post text only on YouTube, right? That's an X thing, right? But text only is a content format that you can do. So I think that, for example, we're going to have to do something similar where, let's say that the first step of creating an agent actually, or maybe not even the first step, but let's say we have pre-built templates where, let's say we have a template that is like an X post automation, right? And kind of to J35's point, instead of doing like a community marketplace, which I do think that is a great idea, J35, but I think to start, we're going to want to say, hey, not only do we have like agentic workflows and this agentic functionality, but we've already curated the agentic workflow, and all you have to do is type in what you want, or what you like, the information that you want to do, or the post that you want to create, and then work backwards from there. Right? So, for example, an X post automation, what would it have to do? Let's say that the first thing that it does is, I don't know, it has maybe inside of its agent, inside of like the actual agent brain, there's some information about what type of post that you want to create. That's editable, right? You can edit that. And then maybe the first step is it does a web search, and then the second step is it actually uses the web search to find trending information, and then it's actually able to create the post and then post it. But a big thing I think that's going to be involved in this new system is going to be cron jobs, which is fine. We already are using cron jobs, and we're using BullMQ is what we're using for the scheduling, for job scheduling. So we can reuse the BullMQ. Actually, we probably use cron. We'll just reuse BullMQ, and we'll make it so that people can actually set, hey, I want this agent to run at XYZ time on XYZ day, right? So that instead of, or you can just set it every day. So I think what you guys are seeing is, if we really want to get ViewCreator 2.0, we have to build full end-to-end social media automation. So the first thing that I think that we need to do is we need to take a step back, and we need to say, what are we trying to create, right? What are we trying to build? And if we want to do an X post automation, or have one that would be an Instagram post automation, right? Or an Instagram, let's call it Instagram carousel automation. This agent would have different steps in it, right? Like, let's just take this one, for example. Let's say that you have this, which is the brain of the agent. So this is almost like mission control. And then the first step would maybe be, I don't know, where you are going to create a plan, or you're going to create a description, or you just get started with creating the images right off the bat, right? Or maybe you don't even have steps. But the thing is you have to be able to curate and put like, okay, I want, potentially the images that are created to look like this, or I want them to act like this. What do you guys think, chat? Chat, what do you guys think? Jay said, today I'm deploying my V1 of my ViewCreator platform, launching later this week. Let's go. Let's get it, J6. So I think what we need to get started with is just kind of breaking down into this new format of, okay, these agents are going to be full automations now. They need to be fully automated. And you need to work backwards from what you actually want. And we need to create different content types for what we want. And let's just have a conversation. So something that I'm considering is I am going to want to be able to make it so that agents run automatically, meaning that when you're creating an agent, you actually set a specific time that you want the agent to run at. So just as an example, right now, users are running agents manually. They go into the ViewCreator and they click Run Agent. But what we want to do is we want to make it so that users can actually, they don't have to do that, but it would instead be automated. So I want you to review the application in complete depth and take note of our existing Bull MQ system. And then take a look at the existing agent architecture and create a potential plan of what the architecture or the entity architecture would need to look like to add in this functionality. And this is probably just going to be, hey, we need to update the initial agent, the agent table, so that there is, let's say, maybe a frequency. And then Carb Short said, bro, this is awesome. Thank you, man. J35 said, can Shorts automation be done like it checks for new video uploaded on YouTube channel, uses clipping agent to get clips and posts it across all channels? Yes, I think it can be done. I think it can be done. Let's just have Composer 1 take a look at this. I think it'll be able to do it fairly quickly. But then also one thing that I want to do is we do need to test, speaking of the clipping agent, we need to test the clipping agent right now and see how it's actually doing. It's been having some issues in production. Apparently it's working well locally, but then not in production. So we just want to take a look at that. So let's go to the Clipper logs here and let's actually start listening on Genesis here. And okay, we're listening. So now let's actually pull up ViewCreator and let's give it a job. So let's go to our AI clipping agent and let's just paste in like a BridgeMind video. Yeah, J35 it is. Okay, so I want to test this real quick and just see, hey, where are we at locally on this? All right, so this is the Kimmy K2 video. So this one, how long was this video? All right, this video is 30 minutes long. So 93 credits, it's fine. Let's just do 3 clips, medium. Let's generate clips. Twitch Phosphor asked, Composer, is it good? It's good AI for code. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's fast. So, every different model has a different place in the AI workflow for, vibe coding. And this is just a fast model. All right, so let's see here. So edit entity architecture. So it says extend the agent entity. This is the recommended approach. So add an is scheduled, which is a Boolean. So this would be the master switch for scheduling. And then you had add in a schedule config, which would be a JSON B column configuration for schedule type, timing, time zone, etc. I don't really like that. Supports one-time recurring and cron schedules. That's interesting. Over 1,000 users we have. But if you guys are new around here and you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. I do need to grab some water real quick, so I'm going to go run downstairs briefly. I will be right back. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. I'm just going to grab some water. Yeah, Jacob, we already have that. Yeah, Jacob just asked, he said you need a backend with the social media APIs in order to automate the posting to social media. Yeah, we already have that. All right, so you can see that, here's our service. How's this doing? Okay, one clip. Okay. So here's the clip that it created. Good. Yeah, and that's still... The speed is very slow. You don't have the ability to actually get the images and drop images in, which is a huge limitation. And then, is it really that intelligent where you can one-shot things? I don't think it is. So this is not a model that I'm personally going to be using in my workflow. Good. We could try this with another model. It's just saying failed to upload. Man, what is going on? So I'll have to look at this offline. But what I will say is that Kimi K2 is just too slow. And, you can use it, and there is going to... You know what I think we're going to have to do? I think we're going to have to roll the clipping agent back. We made some updates, and where we did this auto layout switching. And the auto layout switching, it's good, in concept, but it's just not working correctly. Whereas when we just had a hard layout set, it did a little bit better of a job. Where it was actually usable, right? This doesn't feel usable, if that makes sense to you guys. It doesn't feel usable. Also, I want to check real quick TikTok. So as you guys know, the only social media API that we're still waiting to hear back from is TikTok, which is one of the bigger ones, so it can be a little bit frustrating. They do take much longer to hear back from. All the other APIs I heard back from within a couple days. But yeah, this is still in review. Check this out, guys. TikTok, still in review here. Still in review. Very frustrating. That's all right, though. Let's say that I wanted to integrate with our scheduling and publishing system so that not only the agents could create content, but they could also publish and schedule posts to social media. So what I want to do is I want to build this system so that we can make it automated where it'll be a job-based system, but then I also want to add in the functionality so that users can actually create these agents so that the agents publish the content or schedule the content that was created in the agent run itself. Review our existing architecture for publishing and scheduling using the different social media APIs and do an in-depth review and create a plan on this. All right, so the module that's in question is multi-platform publishing. So this has our two different controllers here, one for publishing, one for scheduling. And what we could do is, let's say that an agent is running. The agent would need to, it wouldn't have to hit the controller, it would have to hit the service. But we could make it so that the agents hit the service, where the step, and this is I think where the tricky part is that these different social media APIs, they have different like metadata, let's say, right? So let's go to short video, and like if we do YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and we're trying to create content with Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, you have a caption. Like all that's needed for Facebook and Instagram is like a caption, right? Hey, caption and video and you're good, right? You don't have to worry about anything else. But for YouTube, you also have to have the title. So like one thing that I'm thinking of is you would have to create a flexible way for the agent at the end process when it does the scheduling, where it would need to know where it was scheduling, and it would need to know what to create based off of where it was going, right? Because hey, if it's just going to Facebook and Instagram, all it needs is a caption for the metadata. But if it's going to YouTube, you also are going to have to create a title, a description. Tags are optional. Technically, category is optional, but the title and description is required. So, because I think category just defaults to entertainment, but I think it's fair to say, hey, add the category as well. But my point with that is, like, what do you guys think on, in terms of like format of, we have these different formats and then we have these different platforms. You work backwards, I feel like, from the platform that you want to post on and the format that you're creating. That's kind of how you work, right? So you say, okay, I'm using this format, I'm posting it to this platform so that this metadata is needed, this type of content is needed, right? And then you work backwards from there. So I'm going to use Opus 4.5 for this. Pranay said push-up time. All right, let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Thriving asked, how many times do you go to gym in a week? What's your workout routine? So I go to the gym about 6 to 7 days a week. My routine, I run in the mornings, and then I work out like after like the marketing stream around 5. P&K, let's go. Jacob Crosby said, tell AI to create the metadata for each platform before submitting. Yeah, I think we're going to have to, like, here's what I'm trying to figure out, though. Like, let's say, you know, our existing implementation of agents, I think it's going to have to change, right? Like, if we look at this, okay, so right now, agents, you add steps, right? Which is fine. And, hey, that's great and all. But I think what we're going to transition this to is where instead you're not creating steps. You're selecting templates that have guardrails, right? So you're setting a template, and then we set the guardrails on those templates. So that let's say that you have a template that is going to be an X post. Those steps need to be like, hey, the end user may not know, like, hey, this is literally like what this needs to look like, right? Like if you want to do a short, or if you want to do something like that, here's what it needs to look like. Also, we have 40 likes, 85 people watching. If you have not already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We do have our project sharing event today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are interested in sharing your projects, it will be on the stream. So we have enough room for 3 to 6 people. So make sure you hit up Jesse Pinkman in the Discord. There's a link to the Discord in the description as well as in the chat. Did you use any other AIs to make the UI look that good? Just like it was building and iterating. I think like, hey, I started out, and if you go back through this series, you'll see like what it looked like to get started, and it just got better and better over time. Let's see. All right, I've created a new comprehensive document that ties everything together. All right. One thing to note is that I would like to work backwards, because right now our existing agent configuration has these steps and has this structure and this setup. And what we need to do is I want to work backwards where, for example, users need to choose what format type or content type they're creating. For example, you can look at the post page inside of I think let's just drop that in. All right, apparently I'll check it out. So you got a creator page here, and we'll go here. Note the content formats that you see here. So the complicated part of this is I now want to work backwards from the end content type that's being created, just like we do in the post page. So for example, if a user wanted to create a single image post, there would not need to be, we need to create templates for this, right? So, So two really key areas of importance that I need you to think about is the format type or the content type that's being created, as well as the platform that's being posted to is important, because if you go again to that post page, what you'll see is that there's different metadata associated with the different platforms. For example, YouTube, it requires a title and description and a category and tags, whereas Facebook, Instagram just requires a caption. Same thing with TikTok, just a caption. And then with X, it's also different, right? It just requires, the X post, right? So I think that you need to review all this and help me rethink my approach for agents, because what I want agents to become is going to become all about automated content creation and posting, okay? That's what we're transitioning this to. So whereas right now it's pretty much an agentic system without a ton of guardrails, we need to create guardrails on this and make it so that not only can they create these workflows, but then it also can be automated, and then it also publishes and posts for them. Do an in-depth review of this and come back to me with a complete breakdown and report. I feel like this is going to cost a lot unless I launch this in a Claude agent. Let me launch it in a Claude agent, honestly. Data personal efficiency, what's up? And, the thing about Cursor that I think a lot of people miss is Cursor is great. It's by far the #1 vibe coding IDE in my opinion, But the thing is if even if like I'm on an ultra plan for Cursor and I hit my limits like halfway through the month, right? Like my Cursor limits, even though I'm you know, I use it a lot, yes, but I'm on the $200 plan and I hit my limits like pretty much, I mean, very soon, right? So that's one thing to note, like, hey, whenever you are trying to decide, hey, what tool do I use? You have to remember, like, hey, with Claude, you're going to get a lot more usage than you will with Cursor, because, hey, if I dropped that prompt right there, that prompt, because I'm over my limit and because this was going to be, oh, and you know what I should do here? I'm going to actually pause this for a second. Hey, because I'm over my limit, I know that that's going to cost a little bit too much. So I'm like, hey, why would I spend $5 on Cursor there when it's just going to be included in my Claude plan that I already pay for, right? So that's kind of my thinking there. Amir said, for this platform like YT, X, Instagram, TikTok, do we need to apply application to access auth API and post video API? Yeah, it's a pretty burdensome process. Cloud MCSR said, which one of your products is the main one, like the one you're focusing on or driving traffic towards? Definitely ViewCreator. That's the main project. And what really the goal is for us is that, hey, we're at the very beginning of what we're doing here. And our goal is to automate like, if you guys saw yesterday's stream where I had basically my best friend from college, where, you know, we were just so into vibe coding and so into app development and all this stuff that you guys are seeing now. You know, we were talking on stream, and it's interesting because it's now easier to build than ever before, but marketing is still like this really burdensome task. And what we're trying to do with ViewCreator is we're trying to get ViewCreator so that we can automate the marketing aspect. And then once you automate the marketing aspect, we're going to sell ViewCreator, like we're going to try and push ViewCreator. But then we're also going to build more apps in 2026 because it's very easy to build an app. An app, like let's say you take an app, right? An app really only needs to be like, if you have one good feature on an app and you know how to market it, you can do very, very well in the App Store. But the problem is that marketing is actually really, really tricky. Hold on here. All right, I'll try this, Aperium. So Aperium just sent me a command to test. I do not have Python. JL65 said, love the Y for ViewCreator. Makes a ton of sense, yeah. And that's why it's like, hey, for us, you know, this is a long-term project, right? This is a long-term project. Sam said, building is the easy part, marking is what makes the difference. Yeah. What am I mostly using Claude Code for, though? I mean, Claude Code is great because, hey, once you have like a max plan, you're pretty much getting unlimited usage on Claude Code. You pretty much get unlimited usage on Claude Code. So that's why, like, hey, we have Cursor, but the problem is that with Cursor, we go so far over our limit that, you know, hey, I would be paying $5 for that. You need to change the port to what Docker is running on for test job. Aperium, help me understand, did you just rewrite it and didn't alter the existing functionality that was the connected to the endpoint for your testing? Because when I tested this, like our AI clipping agent is not working. Look at this. Good. Not doing the face.
We could try this with another model. It's just saying failed to upload.
It does do a context switch in this video.
And there is going to be, some price offsets that you're going to
So you can do this, the layout switch, which is good.
Models. But is it worth the speed? The speed is very slow. You don't have...
Cloud MCSR said, idea is important, something that has demand and low competition and easy to market inherently. Yeah. Sam said that he has the 5x max plan and he rarely ever hits the rate limit. Yeah. I think that the rate limits are pretty generous. I mean, Aperium, I don't think so. Like, here, let's just test. All right, I need you to review this here, Genesis, and then the API. What endpoint is there for ViewCreator Genesis, for example? What endpoints and what files are the ones that actually create the clips? And then I need you to review the API and confirm what endpoint it's calling to generate the clips. All right, so the new step, so create plan. So these are the existing ones: create plan, create image, create video, create description, create title, platform specific, create captions, create hashtags, create X-post, create thumbnail. So see, this is what I don't like, because I think this is overcomplicating things. I think it should automatically be able to do that. So if you guys are just joining us, what we're doing here is we're making it so that in our agentic workflow on ViewCreator, we have the functionality to create agents and agent workflows so that you can actually create content automatically, right? So I'll just show you guys, like, one example of that is like very simple, like this looking back. When I run this agent, it creates new content that uses the famous like looking back meme, but then it makes it related to ViewCreator. So if I go here, this is running, so we'll give it a second. Is Sam? Yeah, I can talk about that in a second. So like going viral, me, ViewCreator, old strategies, low engagement. So like this is just an example. You could improve it based on what image model you use, but you guys get the point. Is that what we're trying to do? Is we're trying to make it so that in the workflows can get more and more complex, but you want to make it so that, like, hey, big things on social media, and I've experienced this myself just from like, hey, growing a YouTube channel to 10,000 in like 4 months. How do you do that? Consistency is like one of the biggest, I would say number one. If you're trying to succeed with marketing, or if you're trying to grow a platform or a channel or whatever you're trying to do, consistency is the biggest thing. That is by far the biggest thing. So if you're not doing that, if it's hard to be consistent, which number one, it is. And I'll tell you why. Like, hey, I'm able to be consistent because I do the live streams, so all I have to do is turn the camera on, just be myself, right? But a lot of people don't do that, right? They can't do that. And I think where agentic workflows come into play, it's like, hey, when I'm marketing ViewCreator, I'm not going to be live streaming every day on the ViewCreator channel. I actually have to create content associated with ViewCreator, and that can be difficult to do. So what we're looking at here is we already have these pre-existing steps, which is create plan, create image, create video, create description, create title. But then it's saying that, hey, you can now add in create caption, create hashtags, create X-post, create thumbnail, and then publish. But I think what it needs to look like more so is we need to work backwards so that agents, when they're being created, you choose... Yeah, hold on. I need you to think in depth about what I'm saying here, because I don't like what you've proposed. When a user is creating an agent, we need to take in some key information up front. So first of all, the content type is incredibly important. Content type, okay? And that would be single image, multi-image post, text-only post, short video post, long video post, and then also the platform that the user wants the post to be posted on. Because based on the platforms that are chosen, that's how we will set the metadata. And I actually don't want there to be steps where it creates the different metadata. So for example, you propose that we literally create steps that are create caption, create hashtags, create X-post, create thumbnail. That's not the case. That should just be a singular step. Let's call it create metadata. And the create metadata will need to take in what platforms are being published to. Another important thing when creating an agent is the user will have to select which connected social accounts that they want this posted to. So review this in depth and then update the README based on this and draw out architecture diagram for me to understand. All right, there we go. So is Sam asked, hey, could you talk a little bit briefly about just the project architecture, which I can do. So, we have a Nest API, which is the main API. And then we have one microservice, which is called ViewCreator Genesis. And then we have several different Next.js front ends. And then we have a Postgres database that we do type RM. So this is just where I manage my migrations and stuff. Okay, so the webhook. So user post AI clipping agent jobs, API deducts credits. It posts then to AI clipping jobs. So if a program is here, this is what it's doing. Do you see this? What is the test? Hold on. Cloud MCSR said tags, SEO, consistency aren't important. Most important things almost on all platforms is ideas, attention grabbing, and retention generation. Engagement isn't as important as retention. All right, so it's a standalone CLI test script, not connected to any API route. It's a client that calls the Genesis API endpoints for manual testing during development. All right.
So we're going to be trying out both of these models inside of Cursor.
So this is what
today.
that's pumping out.
Let's hop over to Cursor. And what we're going to do over in Cursor is simply, we are going to hop over to the model selector here. Let's go down to models and let's actually go down to API key. I mean, I'm probably not going to use K2 thinking, to be completely honest. I mean, I will say this. That's the hard part here is that, you know, technically, I do think that this did a good job, right? I mean, if you guys look at this, I mean, this is a decent job here with being able to drag and drop images or videos. I think that did a good job. What about?
And then this one failed.
For sticky error. So, I mean, I don't think too slow. Ace off and drop images in, which is a huge limitation. And then, is it really that intelligent where you can one-shot things? I don't think it is. So, this is not a model that I'm personally going to be using in my workflow.
NS is not going to be on this stream. Seems like you guys really liked NS.
Yeah, I think consistency is really important.
Would you generate a script that I can use to test this? For example, running this doesn't really work. What would work? Give me the what would work. Yeah, it chooses which part to clip. That part's easy. Yeah, the hardest, what we found with the clipping agents, the hardest part about clipping agents is smart cropping and layout switching. So, for example, you know, the hardest part is the smart cropping, like, and we've talked about this extensively, but just the ability to, like, if I change here, and if I change here, if I change here, if I change here, you know, if people are doing that, which happens in videos, like if you're clipping a long form video, there's going to be lots of layout switching, right? And that is one of the most difficult parts about AI clipping agents, and the biggest thing to crack is smart cropping and then the layout switching on top of that. So it's very difficult. All right, full document, okay. All right, so agent template architecture. All right, so here's our architecture analysis that we're gonna kind of review. So this is the plan that we're considering implementing right now for this agentic flow, because as you guys know, it's like, hey, what we're trying to do is we're trying to automate social media marketing completely. So here is what we're talking about. All right, so content type, what am I creating? And then it says, hey, target platforms, and it nailed that. And then connected accounts, which accounts to post to. Content type. Yeah, TR, exactly. Official Sapphire said, I'm really impressed. You're fit, sharp, super passionate, and consistent as hell. That's rare. I'm glad I was wrong about you. Sorry for hating on you before. Respect, man. I got love for you now. Appreciate it, Official Sapphire. Thank you. All right, so like you can see that the metadata is really important, and this is a tricky thing that we're gonna have to crack. Is, hey, for metadata, everything is different, but what's nice is, hey, if we're creating images or if we're creating video or if we're creating text, it's all processable, and at the end, when we're doing the posting, we should have a step where it creates the metadata based on which platform it's being posted to, which I'm not really worried about. It's more so like, hey, okay, this looks a little bit better. Okay, do you guys see this, the agent step? Do you guys see these, the purpose enums here? So agent step purpose enum. So if I go right now and show you guys, hey, what are we looking at now? If I go to add step, you're gonna see the current steps that we have, which are totally like, before, when we didn't have the ability to actually publish to the end platform, this was a little bit more difficult, but we had these, right? Create title, create plan, create description, create video, and create image. But you can see like, hey, there's no longer gonna be a need for create title or create description, because that's all gonna be inside of create metadata, right? So you no longer need like multiple steps, and we kind of learned that through this this posting process here of, hey, we can now make it so that, let's say I do a single image, right? I can go boom, 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 and then let's say that I literally just want to like do a post of me, you know, me on the moon. I can take this and smile and, you know, do that, do generate the AI, image to image. You get, hold on, you guys can see this. Okay, so I upload this, and then I just say update, create an image of this man on the moon in an astronaut suit. You know, very simple, square, generate image, and it's then going to be able to generate that image. And I'm going to show you guys, like, hey, the concept of generating metadata, you no longer need to put that into like a multi-step workflow. I think that's a little bit overcomplicated. So like, here's me, right? I mean, that's like a joke, right? And this is the thing, is that right now, the biggest applicatory use cases for like AI image generation and video generation is there's not much, right? And this is why ViewCreator is a long-term project, is because in the future, maybe a year, 2 years down the road, these image generation models and these video generation models will actually be able to be used for marketing. And if you can build a platform that implements this automated creation that we're looking at now, where, hey, if this is all I can create, that's okay, because it's going to get better. But where I was going with this is, hey, if I click generate with AI, it's able to now process that, and it's able to know, okay, I'm creating an X caption and I'm creating a shared caption, and it's able to create all of that metadata at once, and it's able to do it differently, right? So it's literally able to process the image. It sees that it's me on the moon, right? So let's see what, the only context of the image is me on the moon. So for here, it's like, Houston, we have a vibe. It's like kind of a joke, right? So Houston, we have a vibe. This is what happens when you take your selfies to the next level. We're literally just chilling on the moon, no big deal. So it's like a joke, right? It's like a meme. But my point with that is that instead of having this super complicated step-by-step process where you create a title and create a description, like, it really should be able to just process the post. I do think that create plan, I think it did keep it. Like, if we go back to cursor, I think that creating a plan is necessary. Like, that's almost like the create plan is almost like the thinking process for us. So I do think that that's important still. All right. Okay. I need you to review the... Yeah, plan equals context engineering, in my opinion. Yeah, W, Dan. Also, what's up, Dan? Good to see you, man. So the API and then also the database. It's important. All right, so we should have a different step-by-step flow for agent creation based on what content type was selected. So, for example, if text only is selected, oh, like this is an issue here. Yeah, Dan said miss yesterday. Sounds like it was a jam. I'm keen to see this agent workflow level up. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. You should also include the Higgsfield Soul model. It's particularly suitable for realistic avatar images. I'm not a big... I think that these Google models are ultimately going to be the winner for image generation and video generation, so I integrate with them for now. But I use FAL, so I feel like I shouldn't complicate it. So making it so that users can set a scheduled time for the agent to run that uses our existing BullMQ structure.
The simpler, the better. Monthly AI bill is about $600 a month, just on average. Jacob Crosby said that AI context prompting might be a better approach to inform the AI on what you specifically need. Context prompting. So what they're talking about, Claude, is like when you're doing a prompt, if you want it to actually, do what you need to add in context. So I'll just give you a simple example. Like when I just put in this prompt, I passed in 2 different repositories that I knew it needed for context, right? And if I didn't pass one of them in, then it wouldn't even have the context for that, right? So I had to say, oh, hey, by the way, take in, this entire repository. Weed said, in your chat, you should have an opening prompt that tells the thread to actively analyze and consolidate all of the MD files into only less than 3. Well, the thing is, like, the MD files, every time that we prompt, it's not opening up all the MD files. It's only going to open them up based off of what it needs. Like, for example, if I pass in an entire, like, if I do, let's say I do an @ViewCreator API, right? What I've found is, and I could be wrong, just what I find personally, is that if I pass this in, it doesn't actually pass in all the context of that project. I mean, that ViewCreator API is like, would be, millions upon millions of tokens, right? But the thing is that you're able to pass it in, and then it usually does like it greps for certain files, or it scans for certain files. So let's say that it does an ls on like the source directory, and then based off of that, it knows, okay, let's now go into modules, and then let's go to the module related to BullMQ, because that was mentioned in the original prompt. Do you see what I mean? So that's like kind of how it'll work. But yeah, if you guys are watching and have not already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. By the way, do we have any mods in chat? Are we doing project sharing it too? I haven't heard anything on that, so let me know. Okay, so Weed said it adds more garbage data into the search and can mess up the scope of your search. So if you consolidate all those files into one main README setup and updates, then it goes better. I do agree with that. Okay, so agent entity. So this is what it's actually, and this is important. Okay, so this is what it's actually proposing, that we update the entities, which is ultimately, in my opinion, is one of the most important things, just the database architecture. So it's going to add in 6 new columns, okay? And it's going to add in a content type for the agent. So the agent, like, back to our initial structures, is like, hey, we're turning these agents into a way so that you're going to actually be able to automate this, okay? And you need the content type. The content type is going to be incredibly important. And then you have target platforms. That's also important. Then you have published targets. That's going to be the array of connected account IDs, the platform, and then the content type. And then you have published config, which is, what is that? Immediate, scheduled, or a draft. Oh, okay. Oh, I like that. I like that. So what this is proposing, and maybe I can expand this a little bit so you guys can see it better. So what this is doing is it's saying, hey, there's going to be a column that's a published config. It's going to be a JSON-B column, okay? But this column is going to have whether or not it's enabled, and then the mode, which you could probably switch that instead of it being JSON-B, just because JSON-B, you shouldn't really, like, JSON-B is good for, like, kind of like, hey, this published target's here.
is potentially good because, hey, with this, for published targets here, it makes sense for it to be a JSON B column, which is a benefit of Postgres. You kind of don't want to always have JSON B columns just because anytime you have JSON B, it's like, hey, if you ever need to change things, it's going to be a little bit more complex because you have a data field, you have a column that has JSON in it, right? So you're going to need to be aware of that. But this does make sense. It doesn't make sense here for publish config. I'd rather separate that into two separate columns, maybe a column for whether it's enabled or not, which is a Boolean, and then the mode, and that's going to be an enum, rather than have that be a JSON B. And then is recurring. I don't know. I mean, this will work. Agent run step is going to get 2 new added columns. And then implementation order. Database is going to do the enums, then the entities, and the migration, and then it's going to update the queues, services, and then the UI, content type, platforms, accounts. I mean, this is pretty good. I think we should do it, guys. I think we should send it. I think it's ready to go. We can adjust. Great, let's do it. Also, I want you to generate the migrations by running All right, Dan said, here's that documentation Slack command library. I usually clean up MDs. There's consolidation for multi-group. Okay, paste bin. Oh, yeah. So this is a prompt from WDan. And guys, you know what's crazy? I've been sick. We're still grinding though. But yeah, this is a prompt. You can see consolidate project markdown into canonical documentation, directories with front matter normalization, deduplication, and an audible workflow supporting both single repo and multi-repo project structures. Goal: discover MD files across the repo, migrate them to appropriate docs directories, merge duplicates, and generate searchable indexes, all with dry run review before applying changes. So yeah, so thank you, WDan. I'm gonna probably have, not while this is running, just because I don't want to be changing up my documentations because this is a really important run that we're doing. But that's really helpful. Enabled is just whether or not the agent is enabled. So this is a super important run here. I'm going to shrink it and put it in the corner though. I want you to actively review the so it's not connected to the endpoint that the API is calling, so it's not getting tested, right? Hello Kitty said, using it to generate funny content can work. I normally wouldn't use that to generate the app that launches that onto the social media, though if it works. What do you mean, Hello Kitty? Jacob Crosby said, context prompting is when you provide all the details for your initial prompt so that AI does not have to guess what you want. If you vibe code at the start, the AI will guess what you want. Yeah, very well said. Yeah, context engineering is very important. Cloud, I'm using Whisperflow. I need you to review, drop in ViewCreator API, and identify the endpoints related with the speech to text implementation that we were trying to build inside of All right. Wow, that was fast. Yes, move forward with the next phase. Max, how's it going? Also, guys, remember that in 35 minutes, we are having our project sharing event. If you guys would like to share the projects that you're working on, you can talk to Jesse, one of our moderators, in order to get that lined up. I will say, though, just from like a content strategy standpoint, you know, something that I want to share is we're working on getting our AI clipping agent up and running, right? And it's having some issues, and we're going to fix them. But I will say, when you are having like a strategy for your content creation, it goes with marketing too, but when you're doing like long form, short form, live streams, and you're doing all those things together, you can be like incredibly successful on social media. Because even if you look at the data analytics from a marketing standpoint, when you do those shorts, your views will be like, let's say you do 5 shorts a day, each one's gonna get like 1,000 views, or on TikTok and you have a call to action back to like your main channel or a call to action back to your website, the views and the amount of hits and conversions that you get when you're just spamming, not spamming, but you're doing a lot of posting, right? It does make a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. That's one thing to remember. What is the endpoint that's doing this? And then in ViewCreator, Creator UI, where is this implemented? Sometimes the Claude Code glitches out here. I suppose your target audience is businesses. Yeah, and content creators. Install the package to fix this error. Is this using Grock or what is this using? All right, so we have a couple more agents running here. The thing is Max, that we're using Docker. So it should be already installed in the container. Oh, you know what I just realized though? We're running a freaking a command, so it's not in the container, is it? That's why it's not working. On what page is this available for me to test inside of? All right. Cloud MCSR says the problem with conveyor belt strategy is on some platforms, most impressions might be repeat users or quality leads and can lead to high CPL, but it of course depends on the business and so on. What exactly is the conveyor belt strategy? I've never heard of that before. Continue with the next phase. So Instagram publish. Okay, so Instagram publish. So we do have and this was one thing that people were saying, hey, you should add this, is if I go to the Instagram publish page here, we have this here. Hold on. This is a test. And I don't think it works. I think it just says like, hi. Yeah, what? It said what? Does this actually work or does this not work? This is a quick test. It's going to say what? I think it's going to say what again, period. Nice. Okay, so I need you to review the functionality for this because it's not actually working. So for example, I'll click the microphone and I'll talk into it and I'll say something and literally it does not work. So I need you to review this logic in complete depth and actually rewrite it because there's something incorrect with it. Review in complete depth and rewrite it so that it works. And what's interesting is we built this. I think we built it on like when it was GPT-5 Codex maybe. Oh, okay. Dan said that it's a volume-based approach versus refined quality. Okay. Claude MCSR said it's basically like the conveyor belt approach is like spamming content. Jacob Crosby said, have you tried to ask for a comprehensive, detailed context for your application? You might be able to better troubleshoot and refine your application with that approach. Yeah, I mean, we're not working on the project as a whole or refining it as a whole. We're working on particular features, right? So. Pyramid, it already did that on the first one, and I said allow on this site, so that's why I didn't ask the second time. All right, so is this ready to test? I want you to test this, and then I want you to look at the logs and give me the video clips that are generated so I can look at them. I mean, a good question for Claude MCSR is what approach do you think is better? Because, like, I'll just give you an example. Hey, with, I mean, if I was to say, okay, I'm going to create shorts, I'm going to take an hour out of my day to create, like, short clips and edit them and make them really high quality, absolutely they would get more views, potentially get more conversions. But if I do 5 posts instead of 1 post, and they all get, you know, a third of the views, you know, what's doing better at the end of the day? Maybe you would have an interesting perspective on that. You've never seen someone running 4 Claude instances at the same time? Yeah, sometimes it is 16. All right, so we're going to change up that speech service just to get this working. Really, the main task that we're working on, though, is this agent service here in this top left one. That's the most important one. The others are just kind of like... Freaking Claude. All right, so that was really nice. Claude just exposed my AWS environment keys on live. That was great. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they're deactivated now. But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that. Kind of annoying though.
What MacBook do I use? I use the I've got a Mac. I got an M3 Studio Ultra, M3 Studio Ultra, and then I've got a M4 Max for my MacBook. But I like the Studio more. Fooled by Prime said that his prediction is that in the future these instances will be deployable into the metaverse if so desired. Yeah, Jesse, I saw the EMV bears came out. It's all good though. I already deactivated them. Yeah, so Cloud MSCR just said, with an automated workflow, you'd want, for example, to create and just write down different strategies that make up content that has high chances to go viral or hit your relevant metrics. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Keep an eye on these agents for me. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. What's up? Thanks, Linux. What's up? All right, so how did that compaction go? Okay, the build compiled successfully. Would you like to continue with any additional phases, like adding API endpoints for agents? Yes, continue with the additional phases. And also update the README as you go. All right, so let's test this mic integration again. Looks like our API has errors in it, though. All right, what's the error here?
Yeah, that's interesting. MCSR. He said that if your content is a 5 out of 10, it's going to get 100 views. If it's 6 out of 10, 1,000. If it's 7 out of 10, 100K. That's pretty interesting. And I do believe that, hey, in the future, you're going to be able to create 7 out of 10 content with AI. Right now, the content that you can create with AI is like maybe 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, right? So you can get something. But hey, in the future, you're going to be able to create like very high quality content using AI, and it's all going to be automated. So that's really the purpose of ViewCreator is, yeah, it's maybe a little bit before our time, but the best time to get started is before the entire market is already there, right? So I'll give you an example, like, hey, with all these AI coding tools, right? I mean, that is such a competitive market right now. I mean, yesterday we were looking at this, but what was it? It was Vibe Code app. So check this out. You've got Vibe Code app. You've got, what was it? Anything? Create anything? That's what it was called. Yeah, create anything. And this was just yesterday. You got Rourke AI mobile app. I mean, this is just 3, and there's even more. But yesterday we were actually like testing some of these, and look at this. They're all the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think it's a big market, and it's a market where, hey, obviously there's a reason that there's all these, there's all this competition in the market. It's because, hey, I mean, there's a lot of people that are interested in vibe coding that are interested in creating, something that they want to use. Yeah, but Super Combo said Convex, Lovable, Bolt, VO, Bloom. Yeah, Bloom was another one that we tried yesterday. So if you guys were watching the stream yesterday, we were trying some of these, and I will say, they are not that good yet. Or no, that's not the Bloom apps. Yeah, bloom.diy. So make your ideas bloom. We tried this, and it's just funny because it's like even all the pricing models are the same. It's all good, Carter. But my point with that is that, hey, the right time to get into the AI coding market is when like Cursor got into it. Like Cursor was there before it really took off, right? So Cursor ended up being like a huge company, and they got this huge head start. And they were there like before it was, it was like very early on. But hey, they were the first people with the first agentic, weren't they? I mean, was it Claude Code or was it Cursor? I'm pretty sure it was like pretty close. Yeah, they're just wrappers, yeah. I mean, I don't like the idea of things being like wrappers. People say that where they're like, they kind of like talk down on a product. They're like, isn't this just a wrapper? And the thing is like, hey, you can do a lot by figuring out how to integrate with AI that makes it useful for the end consumer, right? So people sometimes they're like, hey, isn't this just a wrapper, like AI or like wrapper, like it's not special or anything like that. But hey, I mean, I will say, they obviously have like some pretty heavy AI engineering where, for example, with Lunar Clans, this is the app that we made yesterday using Vibe Code app, it was totally garbage. But, I think that there's a lot of potential with these companies like Vibe Code app or anything or Rourke or Bloom, and probably it could potentially be the way that things are headed where let's say that instead of using Cursor and being like highly technical, you have people that are able to do a lot more with like these like lovable type interfaces where it's literally like, yeah, like we don't even want you looking at the code, right? Like at all. Or Base 44, Replit, Bolt. There's so much competition in the market now for like, oh yeah, like you don't even have to do anything, right? I think that Lovable, I saw a marketing ad with them where they just did a they gave like an iPad to an 8-year-old and were like, go build a website, right? And the 8-year-old built the website. And it's like, that's what they're going for. So it is interesting, right? Carter, cool. Linux said that early days, our timing is great. We just need the endurance to keep going, always forward, never back. 100%, yeah. And there's going to be ups and downs, right? And there's always ups and downs. Things are going to pick up. Things are going to slow down. But we're going to keep going forward, and we're not going to give up. And that's what this community is all about because, hey, we're all trying to move forward. We're all trying to give it our best in life. And I think that's what this community is about in a lot of ways. Aperium said, I have built the MPV version of something similar and went viral on Product Hunt. It's just a wrapper that creates React components. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I remember you sharing that with me. So React AI. Oh, wow. Yeah, this did go viral. 518 followers. Wow. That's awesome. So we still have like some bugs here, so let's fix the errors before we move forward. Fix this before moving on to front-end integration. Crunchy Pan asked, what are you building? So we're building ViewCreator.ai. ViewCreator.ai is an all-in-one platform where you're able to create content and then actually schedule and manage your different social media accounts. So it's really an all-in-one platform for social media growth. And what we're working on today is we're trying to work on our agentic functionality. So we have like agents inside of this application where you're able to build like multi-step workflows. And today what we're trying to do is we're trying to take it a step further where you can literally, it's like automated content and scheduling and posting, right? Where you can just schedule what time you want this agent to run and it'll be able to create content and schedule and pump it out at that specific time. PNK Sound said, last night I built a tuner for my guitar to help me practice. Gemini 3 blew through it so fast, I decided to add a flute to it for fun. That's awesome. Fooled by Prime said, Repo Prompt is a good product, for example, but even with its quality, it can't catch the leaders like Cursor. Yeah. Noah Hirschfield asked, how are you liking Opus 4.5 with Claude Code, more capable and successful? I mean, it's an expensive model, so the reason that you guys are seeing me use it in Claude Code is because, for example, if I use this in Cursor, it's going to cost more money, like just period, right? And that's why you guys are seeing me use a lot of Claude Code this month is because, hey, this is the best model, but if you're using it in Cursor, you are going to blow through your limits so fast, it's going to make your head spin. So, and I did do that, right? So if I was using this in Cursor, I'd be spending like $100 a day, but on Claude Code, it's just much cheaper and you get more usage. So that's why I'm using it in Claude Code. All right, so let's go. Let's test a couple things. So we do have the front-end integration that's about to go in. Great work. That now works. Now I need you to move forward with the front-end integration. Anthony Wong said, have you looked at Beads by Steve Yeg? TLDR makes to-do lists in Claude Code persistent. It's pretty neat. You can make sub-agents run the tasks async. Beads. I've not seen that. Let's look it up. Beads. Steve Yagi. So, a memory upgrade for your coding agent. Last commit was 8 hours ago. Steve Yagi. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. This looks really interesting. Noah said, Cursor, I tend to use 5.1 Codex Max more often and have Claude Code. Yeah. Helios, what's up, man? This looks cool. All right, let's test this microphone now. So let's test this. Hello, this is a test of the microphone to see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna be sad. Oh my gosh. I am sad. All right. I literally said a sentence and then all it did was a period. Linux, thanks for supporting the Twitch, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to use Opus inside a Cursor just because it's so expensive, right? I mean, Opus, I will say, I mean, Opus 4.1 to Opus 4.5, the price difference, pretty impressive. Also, guys, 11 minutes until our project sharing event. Do we have enough people for the project sharing event? Yeah, it's using Whisper.
No, I do, but at this point, it's like Opus 4.5 is so much better that Opus 4.5 is going to be the main for most things. Not UI. You know, if you're doing UI, you should probably be doing Gemini 3. Okay, Jesse, thank you. All right, so guys, in 9 minutes, we're going to do our project sharing event. Sounds like we don't have a ton of people that want to share this week, but it's all right. Also, as these agents work, I just want to cover one thing real quick. GPT 5.2. So, oh yeah, look at this. So Elon said that Grock 4.2 is coming out in 3 to 4 weeks. So did you guys see this? So 3 to 4 weeks, Grock 4.2, and then GPT 5.2 is rumored to come out on Tuesday. So next ChatGPT upgrade imminent following Code Red declaration. OpenAI in Code Red GPT 5.2, a $4.6 billion bet. OpenAI launches GPT 5.2 early as Gemini gains users. All right, let's test this. This is a test of the transcription system. All right, so the agent system is going to look a lot different. So you guys can see that it's actually creating these new components. So we update a ton in the back end, and then now those updates are coming into the front end. And you're probably going to have some issues with it at the start, but I think we'll be able to work and iterate from it. All right, let's try this again. This is a test of the transcription system.
It's still just giving a period. Would you add more in-depth, robust logs to figure out what's going on here? Thank you, J6. Appreciate it. Linux said that last bit of 2025 there were going to be a ton of drops yet. I think, yeah, probably. I mean, I think this week is going to be big, and you know, something that's very interesting is like, yeah, I mean, appreciate the shout out, JL. You know, it's like, hey, I'm live every day, and what I do notice is that when we have those drops, and I've seen this online, but I think that this community and this channel is like a go-to for a lot of people to see how a model is, because people know that, like, I think they know that I'm pretty much just a guy that's just working on his project that has been doing vibe coding for a long time. So I think that people like to watch when there's new models. And if you guys know, like, you know, our viewers were absolutely off the charts. Like when Gemini 3 Pro came out and when Opus 4.5 came out, I mean, the streams, the average watchers was like 180, right? So it is going to be fun when these new models drop. It's always fun when there's new people around and when people are tuning in. But I appreciate you guys for showing up on Sunday and grinding along with me. Aditya, I didn't see your chat. Yeah, the Gemini 3 UI is crazy. Jacob Crosby said automatic video generation and scheduling is going to fluid social media with junk. Oh. This could hurt an influencer if the AI videos are consistently bad. Well, here's the thing. So I do agree with you, right, Jacob? So the whole narrative and the thinking behind ViewCreator is that we want to be like the cursor for AI social media generation or like AI content generation, okay? So what I mean by this is we want to be one of the first people to the market of already fully integrating and having the systems, the agentic systems that are ready for when the underlying AI models are good enough that we have systems that are in place where we can then, you know, automate social media, right? So what that looks like is, hey, you know, when these models get better, for example, in 2026, I do expect that in 2026, the AI video generation models are going to get a lot better. I mean, imagine when you have models where instead of it being 8-second videos that are super low quality, super expensive, takes time to generate. Imagine when you're able to generate a 30-second AI video that is higher quality, not as expensive, and is fast, right? It's going to be a lot different. And that's what we're going to see like over the next 5 years. I totally agree with you right now. I mean, if I flooded my social medias with AI content, it wouldn't be that good, right? But that's why ViewCreator is such a long-term project with a long-term vision, and why, hey, we're always going to be working on this. And you know, I expect that in 2026, we probably are going to get back into like app creation. If you guys remember Goalpost, like, you know, it was cool to have NS on the stream yesterday because he has such a good perspective on like, you know, app development. And I think that, hey, app development is great, but kind of what we were talking about on the stream yesterday is that, hey, it's never been easier as it is now to build, but the marketing is really hard. And I think that, you know, back to my thinking of just like, hey, in the future, the people that understand how to use AI are going to be rewarded heavily. Hey, one reason that people that use AI aren't rewarded as much right now is because there's no like way to really automate social media marketing, right? And that's going to change. All right, this is a test. Okay, that's nice. What is going wrong here? All right, guys, it is 2 p.m. So I do want to start our project sharing event. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to start this event. And I think we have 2 people that are going to share. So 2 people are going to share. But let me go to events and get this started. All right, start event. All right, I did just start our project sharing event, guys. All right, and I think I have to leave this and rejoin. And then I can like put my hand up, request speak. All right, and then who is actually presenting today? So as you guys know, that we do this every week. I think we have 2 people that wanted to present. So we're gonna let them come up and present here. Hey, what's up, guys? Can you guys hear me? All right, cool. Hey, Jesse, how's it going? Hey, Jesse, who's up on the presentations for this week? I know that it's a little bit of a slower week. I think we have like 2 people, right? Okay. Repovic and Mr. Cami. All right. All right, here we go. All right, welcome, guys. We're going to get started, but just one thing that I want to say before we do is this is something that we do as a community just so that people have the opportunity to be able to share their projects and share what they're working on. And yeah, I see Repovic is in the chat. So Repovic, if you want to come up and present your project, I'd be happy to welcome you up onto the stage now if you just request. All right, come on up.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Repovic, how's it going, man?
Yeah, very good. Like, so I mentioned a couple times that I wanted to go to this event, but like never got a chance. But now today is the day. So I'm just like waiting for it to like spin up the instance. I tried. I didn't like wanted to go first, but looks like I'm first. So yeah, I will share my screen now. Okay. So I can just start everything up in 1 second. Yeah, this will start next time. So basically, my application is software for salon booking and scheduling, like all-in-one software for beauty salons, nail salons, and like everything like that. It comes like this is the landing page. Basically, it comes with scheduling. I need to add screens here, but it's like just landing page that I did in a couple days. Booking finances like online payments, invoice deposits, and like everything. We also have those workflows. I will explain that in application what it is, and we also have conversations. This is how landing page looks like. I need to add like screens there, but yeah, ask questions and all of that. So let me now log in. I guess everything is up. So let me now just log in to show how application looks like. Yeah, okay, it's looking.
Really good work on the UI, by the way. How did you build this?
Like most of it is like my work custom. I try to use AI, but it's not that precise and like not that consistent, as I say, because I'm like very crazy person. This is over engineered, and like I worry about like every space here and things like that, and like I need to do a lot of myself. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
like
really good. Good work.
1 year like of a project. So basically, this dashboard, once they create Salon, I can walk through the Salon creation process if you want. But yeah, let's jump into like important stuff. So they got dashboard charts like how much completed appointments, clients, and everything. They can choose the time. basically update it to see money. We convert currency to same currency because they can have multiple currencies like euro, dollar, and things like that. If they charge, they can filter by employee, for example, and things like that. Next thing is like we have calendar. That's where all their like appointments and scheduling comes into place. They can see all the appointments there. They can like reschedule it, drag it to reschedule, and then they can like basically just reschedule it. It prevents booking, like overbooking. We do like complete booking algorithm for making sure that like there are no appointments over appointment and things like that, because it's like done to be serious. They can also like book appointment, create walk time, time off, closed period, like if they want their salon to be closed. They can like, there's like a bunch of things here, but let's like just walk through other things because I guess that there's not too much time. So here they can see all their appointments. Basically, they can reschedule if they want here directly. We have conversations. I will skip that and explain that later. So also they can manage, they can like see all the payments that are, for example, from Stripe and things like that, because we have like a lot of integrations that are done. So we have marketing ones, analytics, calendars for like two-way syncs. So whenever someone books on their website, it is added to their calendar and things like that. We have like also a messenger on WhatsApp. I'll explain that like in a moment. And we also have payments, so they can collect payments for like any appointment, for deposits and things like that. And where clients book, they book at the website that they got from us. So each salon get their own booking website. Now this will load up, but let me continue here. So they can see invoices as well. Each invoice like contains, they can also like invoice clients, add items and things like that. But yeah, let me skip to some other things. Important thing from up, actually let me social this. I'm jumping, but yeah. So this is how website looks when they get it. They can choose the theme. We have a lot of customization there. So if they go to appearance, they can choose theme, for example, to be like green. They can update all icons. It is also like PVA ready, so users can like install it. They can update colors, this image, text, position it differently. And like this is their website that they get from my application, and like it is used for booking. So their clients can see like all the locations they operate. They can see like their about section, about page. Basically, they can now customize all of this. And the most important thing is the clients can book here directly. So if I press book now, it will open the booking flow. So I need to choose location. They can also customize the steps or jump between steps. So they can choose, for example, like Friday, select time. Then if they try missing information, so they need like to do it in order. And once I select all of this, they are then prompted to provide their information. Let me also not important. And they need to choose payment method and all of that. So basically, I will not go through it right now because complete page is not yet like done for that. But yeah, this is how it looks like. On mobile, they basically have good looking UI for the mobile.
Yeah, wow. This is a really impressive project. I've got a couple questions. Just want to say, like, first of all, this is really, really built out. I can tell, like, especially with all those integrations, wow, you have put a ton of time onto this. So maybe you could answer a couple questions. Yeah. Like, first off, you know, how much time have you been working on this project? Just like, I think you mentioned like a year, but then also Javier Flo over on YouTube asked, did you have a product person or somebody that works with salons like to test your project? No. Or how did you like know about the product side?
So basically for the product side, I was with my friends like a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago, and like I just thought like, yay, those apps are making a lot of money, and like I just gave this as an example. And then like after some time I thought about, hey, maybe I can build my SaaS because I'm full stack developer, works over like for 3-4 years for the clients over the Upwork and things like that. And I thought like, yeah, maybe I can start. And then like what idea, things like that. And then like I decided this idea because there is like a lot of competitors like that does the same thing. And like I just wanted to make it very customizable. And like I started first time and then like I stopped because I have like a lot of client work and things like that. Like maybe that's like 2 years ago. And then like 1 year ago, I abandoned everything and started all over from scratch again. And yeah, that's it. Like I'm not sure like if this will going to like be successful and things like that, but I put like my work in it and like try to make it best.
Yeah, this is a really, really good project. Like you've put a lot of work into this. Great work.
Yeah, so they can also like do notifications when client is updated, like where it is like send notification. They can send it over email, over push notification. Like they can put variables like from every single event. It is different, but yeah, they can include the last name, for example, and we have preview here as well. So as I said, it is very, very like over-engineered, and I know that is bad for the project because I'm not sure will this like be successful. It can just fail, and I put a lot of effort in it. But I guess like let's try. When I started, let's now build it complete, and then we'll see. There is also like this live chat feature when they can like message AI and AI responds. AI can also book appointments. And also this is integrated with Instagram and like WhatsApp. So they can try it. I'm not sure if I have messages here. I have some for WhatsApp. It's in my native language, but yeah. And also like basically everything is responsive and things like that. So yeah.
Wow.
A lot of other things like reviews, but I don't want to take so much time on this, but yeah.
Yeah, there's so many features. I don't know if you could fit them all into a 10-minute demo window. But I do have one last question for you. Like, yeah, Javier Flo said this is an insanely complete project. When are you planning on launching?
I just move it from time to time. I wanted it to be like maybe like 20 days ago, but I just like find out some other things and I found out something is not complete and things like that. And like I'm just like wanting it to be as soon as possible, but I want to be like to have a complete platform before I can launch because I don't want something to break and things like that.
Yeah.
Even the billing is like completely custom. So we have Stripe integrations, but I'm too scared that Stripe like might ban my account and like everything is custom. This is not yet updated, but yeah. So completely independent without vendor lock-in and things like that. We also like generate our invoices, PDFs, and things like that. Very crazy features.
Yeah, this is incredible.
And maybe like this is like overkill, maybe, but I will see. I put myself in it and like we'll see what it will be.
Well, keep us updated, man. This is really impressive. How much of this did you vibe code, or is it pretty much like it sounds like you're a little bit more of like a you said you kind of mentioned that you don't like to use the AI tools, or what percentage of this do you think is vibe coded?
Maybe like 30% or something like that.
Okay.
30 to 40% because there is like the easiest thing here is like to do the coding. That's the easiest thing. But the hardest thing is like to think about like how those invoices works, when I need to charge and things like that for the clients, like how to enforce the deposit policies and things like that to be done like on the industry standard, like how other apps do it, and to make it extendable enough so we can support integrations and all of that. So it is thinking is like most of the thinking is by AI, but development is like 30 to 40%.
Yeah. I've got one more question for you from YouTube from DJ Fly. He said, what's the stack that you used for this?
For the front end, we use we have 5 applications for the front end, but all of them are like Next.js, Tailwind, Shadcn UI, like standard stack. For the for the backend, we use Nest.js and like especially complete microservices architecture with RabbitMQ. Postgres as a database, and like Redis and all of that like stuff. We use like a lot of things that I cannot like mention it all of that, but like we have like around like 15 microservices.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I see the comment that this can work in any industry. That's right. And like most of us do it in like, because this can also work for like doctors and things like that books appointments. But I just wanted to make it like niche specific in order to make more like sales. I'm not sure, but thought about that.
Well, keep going, man, and keep us updated too. I really appreciate you coming on. Great work, great presentation, and great product.
Thank you, man.
All right, great work from Repovic. It looks like we have one more up. I think Jesse said that. Who's up next? Ben Boro. Is Ben Boro here? Okay, cool. All right, Ben Boro, come on up. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, yo, I'm good actually. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yo, nice being here actually. And also, it's Ben Robo.
It's what?
Ben Robo actually. You said Ben Buru.
Oh, Ben. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, sure, no props. All right, let me just share my screen over here. Let's see. Okay. All right, can you see my screen?
I think it's loading. Okay, yeah, I can see it now.
All right, nice. All right. So I have my product here actually called Render.og, and this is basically what I'm building at the moment. This is currently the landing page. It's not fully done actually. But yeah, let's just dive into the application itself. So basically, the problem started from this particular tweet right here. So if you notice, most social images right here are kind of static itself, and most social images are mostly done by engineers. And what I mean by that is things like social media previews. So for example, whenever you share a link out there, it shows a preview like this, and some or just any link that has open graph images right there. You would notice that most of them are mostly static actually. So what I did was figure out a way for me to do this dynamically itself. And the recommended way are mostly through code, as you can see right here from this tweet. The other ways, which this guy recommended, is also using something called the Vercel OG, which is nice actually. But then I don't want to write code for custom open graph images, right? I want to like do things flexible. I want to do things the no code way itself. So what I did was went on the rabbit hole to solve this problem called, which is why I call this Render.og. So basically, once you log in, you have this dashboard right here, which enables you shows different sections. So I'll start with the projects. So it's like a regular thing itself. You could just come over here, create a design right here. So let's just create something else. You could definitely upload like a regular Canvas UI itself. You design what you want itself. So I'll show you how. Gonna upload some images right here. Let's upload. Let's just tweet this thing out there. Let's use this. So it's uploading, and now it's here. You could definitely drag it and increase the size as well. Okay, so let's say let me put this over here. Change the color as well. Let's do this way. All right, this is a regular. Let's bring this. A regular design right here, nothing too complex. And all right, let's just have this basic UI over here. Nothing much. So the fun part of this is whenever you save itself, in order to make this particular design dynamic itself, there is something called variables itself, and you could definitely change any of this, either it's images, text, anything itself within this canvas. So I will come over here, click on this, and add my variable in. Let's say subtitle right here. Subtitle. Click on save. And then once that is done, you could definitely click on the variable section up here and configure your variables. What do I want to change? I want to change the text color. So you could come over here, click on this, and this is the default color that will be used. Click on save images as well. That has been configured over here. Next thing is you could definitely preview this, right? You click on here, and then you have the preview over here.
Nice.
Yeah, it also shows on different platform as well, but it's currently loading at the moment. But let's copy this particular image right here, go back to see exactly how it looks. So assuming I want to use this, so I could definitely post this over here. As you can see right here, I'm inserting the color right here, but let's just see exactly what this looks like without the color itself. So this is it right here, right? This is exactly the image. Although some things changes here. So let me just go back and edit this, give it some width over here. Click on save. Then go back to that same link. In fact, let me use a different browser right here. Yeah, we have this now. So if I want to make this dynamic, what I could do is, let's say I want to change this text color right here. I just simply change it to white, FFF, right? And although that wouldn't be visible because white is actually white. The background is white right here. So let me just change it to black, 000. And all this is done through just the URL right here, nothing too much, right? So the beauty of this is, assuming you want to make a post right here to social media, right? You want people to see this, to see what you built. What you could do is come over here to this section. There's a link section over here. So I'm going to copy out the OG URL first and come over to this link section and create a new link for this particular URL. So I'm going to redirect to this URL. Let's say I want to redirect to the ViewCreator website. Come over here, paste this now, and go back again. Let me just copy this right here. Right, so right, not too much. So I'm going to paste this right here, and then let's remove this. So you could create the link, and once that is done, we have like a custom domain set up already. You could as well connect your domains if you want. Click over here and go on X to make some posts about this. Let's post this over here. And now once you make the posts, okay, let me reload the page. Okay. All right, so you have this right here. Like,
Nice.
if I want to change this, definitely do this without having to touch my code right here, touch my code base itself. And this is the beauty of Render.OJ itself. It allows you to create dynamic open graph images that is quite flexible to your needs as well. If you want to go to an extreme, you can as well design it with whatever style you have in mind itself. And one more thing you have is the link. You can as well see analytics of whichever platform you want. So for example, this particular one here, you can definitely see, as I posted it, some bots crawled it from the US as well itself. And yeah, that's basically it. You can as well get your open graph images analytics, whichever links you have or project you have right here. So for example, we have this one over here. Let's say, I think it was Crazy Aquarium. Yeah, this particular one right here. Yeah, you can as well see the render time itself, like some analytics stuff. And for the settings, you can as well configure your domains, your custom domains, if you really want that brand signature itself to yourself for your business itself. You can come over here, add your custom domain itself, say og.viewcreator.com. That wouldn't work. But yeah, that's basically how this whole Render.OJ thing itself works behind the scene. And yeah, it's currently not like fully live at the moment. I'm still working on things to push this out before the new year. Yeah, but before that, this is basically what we have over here. And yeah.
Wow, great job, great presentation. First of all, that just one thing I want to say is, how did you make this UI? Because it is this is probably like one of the better UIs that I've seen. Did you vibe code the UI, or how'd you do the UI? Because it looks amazing.
All right. Yeah, so I don't really have any predefined UIs I actually use right here as an inspiration, but mostly I check this site called Dribble, which if you're familiar with, it has so many designs inspirations right there. So what I do is search for whichever designs I want, give it to AI, and then add some sort of context over what I want, and then the rest is left for me to just customize it to my needs, right? To the brand identity of Render.OJ itself. that's basically, I mostly use anti-gravity for UI stuff, and then cursor for the logic stuff, but not too deeply, as some custom logic needs some humans in it itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, great job, great presentation, really interesting product. Open graph images are really important. Like the other day, I was making a couple posts on X, and that's when I discovered like the issues that I had with my open graph images. So I had to go back through and actually set them custom. So this is a really interesting product. Great work, man.
Thanks, man. All right.
All right. So I think that he was actually the last person on the list for today. We had a little bit of a shorter list for project sharing, but like I say every week, this is something that we can do as a community to make sure, like it, even that dribble, you could tell. I mean, the UI that he had. Same thing with Repovic. Those two projects, the user interface, both of you guys did a great job. So thanks for sharing. Great presentations and great work. I have to say, Repovic, that project is very, very far along. So we have a couple of people in the chat that were saying, what's interesting is that as a developer, people will always be like, hey, ship it. And it's sometimes hard as a developer to be like, oh, like, you don't understand, I have to do X, Y, Z, or like there's these problems that you don't know about it that only I do. And I totally get that. Sometimes it can be really hard to kind of be like, okay, like when should I ship this? Should I ship this with these errors? And that's really up to the developer and what right? Because you know it's best. But just want to say, great work, super interesting product. And keep it up, guys. We'll be back with another project sharing event next week. But thanks for tuning in for this project sharing event, and shout out to Repovic and Ben for sharing. Great work, guys. And I'll see you guys next week for another project sharing event. And with that being said, I'm going to continue the stream, but appreciate it, guys. Have a good one. All right, so I just ended the project sharing event, and just as so chat, as a reminder, we do that every week in the BridgeMind Discord. If you have not already joined the Discord, make sure you do so. We're gonna keep streaming though. I'm gonna turn the music back on, so if you guys want to keep grinding, we're gonna keep on grinding. We're working on the agentic functionality, and we're actually ready to test it here. I believe that the last step was for us to integrate the UI, so we're gonna be able to test this. And we'll be able to test it right here, right now. But what do you guys think of the projects that you saw today? Also, big shout out to Jesse for helping get that set up. Really appreciate that. Toxic, how's it going? Yeah, the UI was really good on those projects. So here, when we go to create, there should be a different sign-up flow now. If I go to create, let's see here. So you can see there's more options now for us. And let's see here. I don't see, so let's see. You guys can see that there's now create image. Is it on create image? Nope. So there is this publish here, publish content. Okay, interesting. Okay. Also, if you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We are at, we have 95 likes, only 5 likes away from 100. Let's get to 100 today. So let's open up this Claude Code agent. On the agent builder page, it's still just opening up the layout, and I'm not selecting what format type it is. Or is that done at the end? I mean, let's just try, let's just test. Let's just type a bunch of nonsense in here and see. Test. And we can actually, let's just delete this one. All right, create agent. Okay. For example, there's no UI or interface for selecting what time I want it to automate and run the agent. There's nothing for what content type the agent is, and also the publishing. Just review and make sure that you've updated according to the plan. It doesn't seem finished yet. All right. All right, so this is, I want to test this too. This needs to be fixed, the publishing config. And then over here in Instagram, let's see here, publish schedule. This is a test of the transcription service. Still just a period. It is still just a period. Not working. Here are the logs. Figure out what's happening. Fix it. J35, we just had our project sharing event. It just ended. But we're working on the agent functionality. This is the most important agent, this one in the top left, because what we're doing today is we're really trying to make it so that we get started on this this new agent flow. So, you know, we have agents set up, and the ultimate goal is, hey, by January 1st of 2026, we have to launch ViewCreator 2.0. And what ViewCreator 2.0 is it's the fully automated version of ViewCreator where you're going to be able to completely automate your social media strategy using AI, right? And our, let's call it just our hypothesis, is that these AI video generators and image generators are going to continue to get better and better. And we are going to be on the cutting edge of this improvement with the generators, right? So right now, you know, you look at some of the image gen or the video gen, and it's like, not that great, right? But the thing is that it's not going to be like that forever. And I think that, hey, in the future, a lot of social media marketing is going to be done using platforms like ViewCreator that have automated systems for you to do marketing at scale. Yaj, Tyler, what's up, man? How's it going? Saying that this is going to fix it. We'll see here. This is a test. Thank you. This is a test, and I am not saying thank you. Period. Okay. All right. Yeah, Tyler said, love watching your project progress. Appreciate it, man. What is the best music generation API? And what is the best music generator? I use FAL natively, so maybe there's a couple models on FAL. Use the internet and search up what models are available on FAL AI that are good for music generation. J35 said, out of the box question, what's your workout routine like? How do you structure your days, chest, biceps, etc.? Yeah, so I do
like what's called the Arnold split is what I've been doing for a couple years. Is you do like chest and back, and then you do arms, then you do legs. So it's like three-day split. Yeah. All right, so this says that we're ready to test this. So create agent. All right, double click the start node, switch to publishing and schedule tab. Okay, so click this. Okay, publishing and scheduling. So enable auto publishing. Oh, wow. Okay, so you guys see this? So this is what's been configured. Wow. Okay, so you can do target platforms. So let's say if I do YouTube, and then you select the YouTube account, and then you select the brand profile. Okay, so this does have issues, but Trelly Z asked, what do you use to make that app? I use Claude Code cursor. So I actually don't like this. I don't like what you did in putting it in the start node. Literally, the first thing that a user should see on the agent's builder page is it should ask them what content type they want to do, and then after that, what platforms they want to post it to. And based off of the content type chosen, it should select what platforms are available for that content type. And then based off of what they select there, then they can select different connected accounts. Don't make it only associated with the brand profile. They can connect any account associated with their account, not just a brand profile. Also note that once they've selected the content type and then the platform that they're posting to, there should be almost like a template of the agent steps that are used. So for example, if it was a single image, it should auto fill with a create plan node, a create image node, and then a publish node. Try that. Jesse said, guys, another attack. What's the attack, Jesse? Chill XX3 said, I hope you will be successful. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Also, this upcoming week is going to be a big one with 5.2. I'm interested to see how 5.2 does on the benchmarks. Like, I would be very, very surprised if with 5.2 they come back and let's say 5.2 is literally a better model than... Like, if 5.2 is a better model than Opus, that would be crazy, right? In agentic coding. I mean, I doubt it. I bet it's, like, close. Thank you, J35. Okay, so some different music models here from J35. All right, so here's one. All right, I'm gonna turn this music off real quick just so we can listen to these this music. So this is the AI generator, new music generators on FAL. And it's 10 cents per request. Create a lo-fi beat, chill beat music. And then you can set the duration. It can be up to 3 minutes. That's pretty good. So this is Beethoven music generation. Beethoven music generation. Oh, hold on. I have to sign in real quick. But yeah, apparently the GPT 5.2 is expected on Tuesday this week. If you guys didn't know that, it's expected on Tuesday. So just a side note. Create a chill lo-fi beat. All right. Run. Also, I want to check out... Yeah, so GPT 5.2 expected on Tuesday. Yeah, Brother Code said Google models are just too good. For music generation, Google Lyria 2, it's fast and pretty good. Do they have that? Lyria 2? Is this already... No. All right, this is still generating. So Google Lyria 2. Oh, wow. Okay. Perfect. J35, thank you. JL6 said, I think Google's models is going to be untouchable for the foreseeable future. Just too much data and resources on their end. Probably, yeah. All right, so this is Lyria 2. So, like, here's an example. Do you only get 30 seconds, though? Per 30 seconds, yeah. So the issue here is it's only 30 seconds. Whereas like this, I mean, this is taking a long time to generate, though, too. One thing to know. Suno is also good, yeah. Yeah. We're going to test GPT 5.2 pretty hard. So let's try this. I mean, this I'm assuming, so Brother Codes did say it was fast. Let's see how fast it is. So vocals, no vocals. Oh, negative prompt vocals. So Lyria 2, this is Google's latest music generation model. You can generate any type of music with this model. Minimax model. This is the Minimax model as well. The music generation is cheap. Have you guys noticed that? The music generation is like super cheap. So no lyrics. Lyrics prompt. It's like the sample rate. It's like the format. It's like the bit rate. What is this going to do? Create chill lo-fi beat. Lyrics prompt. What if I want no lyrics? None. I bet it's going to literally say none. Yeah. So Minimax isn't good. Oh, what this is already done. So yeah, so Lyria 2 is pretty fast. That's pretty good. That's fire. That is, I like that. Chat, what do you guys think? We vibing? Astrobox asked, how much does Suno cost? UDIO is excellent for music. Open Mind that said, I mean, Suno API is probably going to be the best API for music. Suno API, let's see. Suno API. So the Suno API, let's see. I'm curious as to. That is not the Suno API. They said sunoapi.org. We just got scammed. Suno Music. Or is that the actual API? Try to generate some hardcore beat Kerncraft style. They're like so, and this is the one frustrating part about AI sometimes is that, like with what we've seen with the music generators, image generators, video generators, they are like, the big companies do not want copyright stuff. So what stinks is like, I can't like, let's do create a hype song. Hold up. Create a boom bap piano beat. All right. Create a boom bap piano beat. Yeah. Yeah, so Suno does not have an API. Yeah, that's what I picked up on suno.org, yeah. Looking for a graphic designer. I'm not really looking for a graphic designer right now. So, I mean, the Lyria 2, it's just so interesting because I almost feel like we're a little bit before our time. And when I say that, I mean, okay, and here's our beat here. And when I say that, you know, it's like, hey, when you look at it and you look at things like the music generation models, you look at the video generation models, you look at the image generation models, and you see how expensive they are, you see how slow they are, you see the limitations of them. We are just so early on that it really does make me wonder. I'm like, hey, you know, with what I've talked about with like the graph and everything before, just about how I think that, you know, we're pretty early on, you just see it more and more. It's like, why is this only 32 seconds? Like, why is this not 3 minutes, right? You know? AI is probably going to change the music industry, though. Oh, yeah, J35 said any update on that. So here's the Beethoven is what it's called. Beethoven. So here's, I said create a chill lo-fi beat. All right. So yeah, so that's not a good one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's not good. Beethoven. I don't even know what that was. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Brother Codes, Lyria 2. This here is from this is Kai API. AI music generate. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, here's what I see. I mean, I do agree with Brother Codes. It's like, hey, these Google models are probably going to be pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I think we're just early on in a lot of ways across. It's like, hey, you know, you have these music gen, you have video gen, you have image gen, you have all these things that are across the board. They're definitely going to play out. It's going to be interesting to watch. But right now, we're early on, you know? All right, so here's the new agent workflow, okay? And this is what I wanted. So, okay, Opus did a pretty good job here. So, you know, the agent builder, the new flow is, hey, the first thing, like, what type of content will this agent create, right? That is now, like, that is what you need to do. So if it's going to be text only, we need to know that. If it's going to be a long video, we need to know that, right? If it's going to be a single image, we need to know that. So let's select single image, and then let's do, like, you can select Instagram, X, Facebook, or LinkedIn, because that's what you can post a single image to. You can do multi-select. Let's just do X and then Instagram. And then here, I'm able to select, like, hey, the Instagram account that I want to do, and you probably need to do, like, so it's like multiple, but let's post to BridgeMind AI, and then BridgeMind AI for the Twitter, create the agent, and then look at this. This is great. So guys, do you guys see what we did? So this is what we've been working on in this stream, and I'm actually, if you guys just saw that flow, that's actually exactly what I was going for. So shout out to Opus 4.5, because this is what we were trying to do. So now that I have this, like, we should make it so that users, instead of like having to enter in all of this stuff, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that prompt engineering is a thing. If you want to make the most out of AI tools, you actually have to get good at understanding, you know, how to do them, right? And how to do certain things, okay? But I will say though, like, one thing that messed up is this description. We're removing the create description part, because that's now create metadata. Remember that we have now removed the create title and create description, because metadata will need to be able to do this step. So you can remove those now. Remember that metadata, that step will need to be able to take into context what's being posted, and then see what platforms it's being posted to or published to, and then be able to create the necessary metadata before it's published. Honestly, you can probably just remove that step too, and just when it's being published, it takes everything in. Probably the better thing to do, just so that's not even a thing, right? Like, you shouldn't have, I mean, when it's publishing, it should take into context all of it. The cassette AI. I'm building ViewCreator.ai. It has over 1,000 users. I think it's like, I need to check. I think it's probably like 1,200 now, 1,300. So here's that. This one is. Yeah, I don't think that one's good either. Cassette AI. I think that one's giving me Beethoven vibes. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. I'm live every single day. We got 106 likes. Thank you. Also, just a side note, the stream schedules can get switched up a little bit. We're going to be streaming longer every day this week. And probably a little bit earlier too. Maybe the streams may start at 10 a.m. again. I'm changing up my routine. On this page, would you create a subtle dotted background so it's not just plain white or blank? PNK Sounds said that he has a hot take. Music gen and such must be generated through a biped? What's that? Good luck, J35. Yeah, JL6. Yeah. He said, get it, bro, showing everyone what dedication looks like. Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, it's interesting. So from my perspective, you know, we've been doing this for 96 days. And like I said, like, hey, this is really my thinking is it's like, hey, like I have on the board, you have to stack 100 days on 100 days. If you guys weren't here for the start of the stream, you know, I was talking about that a little bit. But for example, 100 days ago, when I started streaming and doing all this and working on this, I didn't know where I would lead. The only thing that I focused on was making progress every day. And I knew that if I focused on making a little bit of progress every day, then at the end of that 100-day period, I would have something to show for it, right? And we now have something to show for it. Maybe not in terms of like a ton of revenue coming in for ViewCreator, but the thing is like, hey, this stuff takes time. Like everybody that's done this, you know, you guys understand it's like, hey, we started on ViewCreator on day 20, which means we've been working on this for 76 days. And I mean, we did launch it. We have accomplished a lot. We have 1,200 users on the platform. And it's probably going to take like a couple more months to start to get like regular revenue where it's like, you know, a couple users coming in every day, right? And all I will say is that I do believe in what we're doing. And I'm willing to stack 100 on 100. And if you stop looking at every day, like, okay, let's say you have a goal, right? And your goal is like the one that we have here, which is, hey, build an application that's going to be grossing revenue and make $1 million through vibe coding. That's going to take some time. That's going to take some dedication. That's going to take some really hard work, and it's going to take time. And really, my view of it is, hey, this past 100 days has been 1 unit of time. It's 1 unit. Like 100 on 100 is 1 unit. 100 days is 1 unit. And if you look at that 1 unit and then you say, okay, what was I able to accomplish in 1 unit of time? Because 100 days is enough time where it's like, hey, if you wanted to start working out and like get into way better shape, that would be like a good 1 unit of time to be able to do that, right? 100 days, right? That's enough time where if you show up every day, you're going to make progress. If you're not doing that and you look at it where it's like, oh, why didn't I do this in like, you know, 1 week or 2 weeks, you know, you're gonna start to like burn out a little bit. You're gonna start to have some issues. That looks better. So we're creating like these templates, which I like that better. But 100 on 100 is where, hey, this first 100 days was 1 unit of time to me. And the next 100, we're going to be able to accomplish way more. We're probably going to get to 20,000 subscribers at least. You know, maybe 30,000, right? With this community, there's no limits to how big it could grow. It just depends on like, hey, if I can get my act together, if I can grind super hard, for the next 100 days, then I'm going to make a ton of progress, right? Cloud MSCR said, by the way, I suggest to change the hero section on your landing page to focus more on AI than your app being the central place for managing social media accounts or multiple of them. People can think it's more like a scheduling app. That's actually, shout out to Cloud MCSR. I haven't seen you around, but you've been really helpful today because I actually agree with that. Create a plan for a viral post that is related to vibe coding. Vibe coding X agent. Create an X post related to vibe coding. Yeah, so this is like the issue here. No way to invest. No, I'm fully funded for now. Arush said, I'm just looking for advice. I am currently trying to vibe code and build real things. I'm currently learning system design. What else should I be doing? I would just start building. Like, literally just start building today, you know? Build something interesting that you want to do. Create the post. This metadata step is not needed. This is not needed. Like, the publish step... I mean, we can test this. I don't think it's going to work. Publish. This is not going to work. So step 1 is create a plan. Step 2 is to write the description. Or like, these are messed up because we changed up the enum, so those are defaulting. Publishing disabled. All right. How do we enable it? J6523 said, have you taken outside capital? I have not. Thoughts on taking VC or angels? I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, I haven't... I think once you start taking in outside investors, you lose a little bit of the control that you have. The one thing that I will say is I am curious as to, and this is just like a random thought, but I'm curious as like, obviously in the past 100 days, we've been able to accomplish a lot, and we do have ViewCreator, and I do believe in the vision that we have for ViewCreator, right? But right now, you know, it's kind of a small show, right? So I think what VC could do is if you were able to get a VC that believed in the vision that I have and see what I've been able to accomplish so far and say, okay, like what this guy needs is this guy needs like $5 million, right? Or like, you know, to actually make it legit, then, you know, that would be interesting versus, you know, the solo entrepreneur route that I'm currently taking. It would be a much different thing, right? So definitely like maybe an interesting thing to investigate. You know, I am planning on doing some traveling in 2026. So, you know, we'll see. All right, so why was publishing disabled? There was nowhere to set whether publishing was enabled or disabled, and there was also nowhere to set when I wanted the agent to automatically run. JL6 said that he lost his company taking VC. Do I optimize the code or just deploy? Yeah, I optimize it. JL6 said, sometimes if you're too confident, that's a danger to VCs and you don't see what them coming. Nothing to do with your execution. What do you mean? I think this is going to be a big thing that we're going to be working on this week is, it did not even do that though. Oh, it was in the, update this one as well. Sounds good. JL6, are you in the Discord? Because you gotta ping me and I'll add you as a friend so we can talk. JL6 said AI allows you to build without a VC. What a time to be alive. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, because, I mean, for example, like to your point, hey, if I wanted to build ViewCreator and I didn't have AI to do it for me, right, I would need like a couple developers to help, and those developers wouldn't have AI. It would take longer, take more money. you'd have to have like brilliant people, but it's a lot different now, isn't it? Which is, it's really interesting. But also, guys, if you guys are watching, have not already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. I'm going to be live every single day until Christmas. So we're making a lot of progress. And I think that this week I'm going to be streaming a lot more than normal. Shout out to Linux. Thank you, Linux. Yeah, definitely join the Discord if you haven't. Himanish, what's up? Yeah, I don't really think metadata is really even needed because on the publishing step, I think that metadata adds an unnecessary step to the agent because on publish, when you're publishing, you could make it so that on publish, it's already going to have access to whatever content is being published, right? So maybe you add a step not in the actual agent itself, but an auto step inside of publish. We'll see. Let's go, Jesse. Always Evolve said, hey man, I've been keeping up with the progress. Very inspiring. Opus 4.5 has been life-changing. Now I'm using skills, sub-agents, and doing a better job at keeping my Claude MD file updated. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, what skills are you using? I've been hearing a lot more about skills. I may make a video on it, educate myself on it a little bit more, and then start using them. I don't use them a ton right now. I have like one skill that I use. Cloud MCSR, definitely join the Discord. Glass morphism designs for the buttons. Can't the plan agent create the title and the metadata? It could. But the only issue with that is that if it doesn't have the actual context of the images or of what's being posted, it may be a little bit off, right? Like it may be better to have that at the end, and at the end, the publishing step processes the images, or if it's a video, it'll take the transcription of the video. All right, let's try this again. So is this? So we're going to start off very, very simpler, just with an X post. I mean, if we can get it so that it automatically generates an X post, that would be pretty cool. All right, so here it is. So enable publishing, yes. Immediate, publish right away. Recurring schedule. Wow, run once, run daily, run weekly, run daily at, what is it? Let's test this. The issue is the time zone doesn't get set. Let's do publish immediate, publish right away. We won't even set a recurring schedule. So vibe coding X poster. This agent's job is to create a viral X post about vibe coding. Okay, yo, I'm doing good. How are you? Create and plan for creating a viral X post. Create the post content for the post. Publish the post. All right, this is like gonna be so bad. I mean, if we can get it to actually post though, that'd be pretty nice. Let's see. Publishing is disabled. Come on. You know what we need is we need a more intelligent agents, like so that they can do like trend analysis and stuff. Review the screenshot. Even though I enabled publishing, it said publishing is disabled for this agent. Why did this happen? Review, pinpoint the issue, and fix. Really interesting here, guys. I think we're getting close. Mr. Math, Dr. Math said, "I love to check on you every day. How is it today?" It's doing pretty good today. Yeah. You know, the main mission of today has been working with our agentic workflow. We're also working on our agent clipper on the side. We're getting close to making that so that it's at a little bit of a better place. But with the agent workflow, you know, here's what we've done today. So instead of just agents being like kind of like a out in the air, you use agents and then, you know, you can download the content and you can publish the content. Really what we're doing now is we're making it so that not only are agents like, hey, these automated multi-step processes where it creates content, like now that we've hooked up with the social media APIs, we can do a little bit of, you know, extra tweaking here and make it so that we could set scheduled times for the agents to run and then that they would be automatically be able to publish, right? So that kind of, you know, back to ViewCreator 2.0 by 2026, we're waiting on TikTok, but when NS was here yesterday, you know, that was a topic of discussion of like, hey, you know, if you can create these agents so that they can actually run automatically and that they can create your content without you actually, like you just have to create the agent once, right? And then so like right now, if I now do text only, and then I select which platform it's going to be published to, and then I select which actual connected account it's going to go to, and then I can enable or disable publishing. Right now it's going to be immediate, create agent, and then you have kind of like a draft to get started, right? And this will change. We'll make this better this week, but I think this is going to be a pretty big focus this week. I think big focuses this week for ViewCreator is going to be like, hey, getting our AI clipping agent like totally done. We've been working on layout switching, and as you guys know, like Aperium is on the team and he's working on it, and it's working locally. There's a couple things in production that I think we're still struggling with, but he's done a great job. We are working on we figured out smart cropping, and then an additional issue that is difficult is auto layouts changing. So, you know, we've talked about this a lot, but like right now the layout would be, hey, you grab me down here, right? And you put this like, and once it's in a 916, you put the face cam on the bottom half, and you put like the screen content on the upper half. But then once I switch here, if it's still using that same layout, there's gonna be issues, right? Because now there is no screen. So now it's just a talking head. So then once it detects that the percentage of the face cam in the video is larger, then it needs to do full screen video centered on my face, and then captions at the bottom so that the captions are on my face. It's like stuff like that. So it is complex, but I think that we can crack it. Okay said that he's good as well. Today, I kind of struggled about improving Claude Code. I found out that there is a new unpublished feature of Claude Code Router, which allows us to use OpenRouter or any other models. Yeah, I've heard about that as well. All right, so this says that it's working now. Let's just go through that create process again and see if we can get it working. So let's go to create agent, text only, X, then go to immediate. Create next post about vibe coding. Plan to create a viral post on X for vibe coding. I do think that vibe coding is the future. The agentic systems are going to continue to get better. I mean, when you look at the trajectory and the things that have changed even in the last year, I think it's a pretty hard argument to say it's not. Create the post about vibe coding. Create and publish the post. Dr. Matt said you have more work, so you have to do more no talking, which I think your viewers don't like it. Actually, they do. A lot of people like the no talking streams. I think that the day 90, whatever, the day X vibe coding app until I make a million is always going to be more popular than, the reason I do the no talking streams is it's like, hey, for me, it's not necessarily about how many viewers can I get, how much viewers can I get, which I think it's cool. I think it's cool when a bunch of people are hanging out. All right, it said publish failed. No metadata found. Review the screenshot here. I've actually decided that I want to remove the create metadata step at all. I think that inside of the publishing process, it should be able to process what is being published and create the metadata right there. So remove the create metadata step and remove that logic from the application. You can update the enums and then run npm run migration generate and then npm run migration run. All right, that's not even needed. So literally all it's going to be now is like plan, create image, create video. Let's try it. So all that create metadata is going to happen in that last step. Okay, said talking and seeing the chat, I think lets him reason about the project more. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I will say though, the no talking streams are just fun as a community, right? Because I got some chill music on and the room's red and, we're just grinding, right? And for me, it's nice to reason with the chat. It's nice to have you guys and talk to you guys. And then there's also, it's nice to switch it up and just kind of lock in as a community. And I'll be in the chat with you guys, hitting you guys up in the chat. But it is also nice to, have those every once in a while. I enjoy them. Also, I think I'm going to create a lot more videos this week that are like tips videos on vibe coding. I think that helps us grow the community. Always Evolve said, you only need one critical skill, and that's the skill you use to create skills. It's essentially like a hotkey where you tell the agents to use this skill and it follows your SOP. Oh, cool. But yeah, if you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Right now, we've got 92 people watching, 122 likes. And just as a reminder, I think that we're going to change up the stream times a little bit. I think I'm going to stream more this week just as like a test to see if, the community likes it. I think that we're going to start at 10 a.m. and we're going to go from 10 to 4 this week, which is definitely longer. But I'm going to try that out this week. 10 to 4 is going to be the stream schedule. Eastern time. Thanks to Kenneth. Appreciate it, man. And it is interesting, I was talking to NS, who obviously you guys met him yesterday. Yesterday was kind of like a fun stream, right? You guys, we had to mess around a little bit, do a cold plunge, show you guys around the house. But he's a really close friend of mine, and we were actually talking about just like the future and talking about the past too, and how far we've come. It was kind of interesting. We had a moment where we were hanging out, and when you have those friends where they go back so far. And then it's just interesting to kind of, I would say to hang out with them and know the context of the friendship and then to still be friends with them years later and to know where both of you have come from, and I think that it's cool because we were kind of doing a little bit of that last night where it's like, hey, from my perspective and from his perspective, it's like, dang, this BridgeMind has really taken off and, how much bigger is it going to get, right? You don't know. And hey, it could just, fizzle out and die and I could end up killing it and everything could, you do see people that totally fall off, right? And I do not want that to happen. And I think that to allow that not to happen is that just continued authenticity and, hard work and dedication and to just continue to build the community instead of becoming a content creator. I think that's going to be a pretty big focus for me. But it is interesting to think like, hey, in another 100 days, like back to 100 on 100, what's possible in the next 100 days for the community, right? Like what actually is possible? Are we gonna hit 20,000? Are we gonna hit 50,000? Is it gonna slow down and only get to 15? You know, just kind of interesting to think about. All right, so you can see our metadata option is gone. So viral X agent. Create an X post about vibe coding. Create a plan for the post. Publish it. All right, let's see here. Current MRR is 400. Neek said stream's about to start 7 a.m. now. Yeah. Publishing failed. So this is interesting. So it said no media URLs, but note that it was a text only. Actually, this is looking good, to be honest with you guys. Review this. It said publishing failed because no media URLs were found from the previous steps, but the thing is that this was a text only post to X, so that shouldn't have been required anyway. I'll keep it up, DJ Young. Appreciate it. Jesse, thank you, man. Yeah, NS is great. Yeah. I mean, you guys can tell it's like, hey, you know, you don't have a lot of friends that come around that are, you know, authentic, real ones, if you guys know what I mean. And he's that for me, that's for sure. You don't need a lot of friends. You just need good friends. All right, so it's getting close. I would like to use the existing architecture. I just want to make it work, right? And how I usually build until it works, right? You build until it works, and then you make it right. And that's what we're doing. So viral X agent. I'm gonna use. Oh, it looks like it's ready. I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. You guys can watch it run. It'll probably go fast though. I'm back. Whoa! Published to one of one platforms. Hold on, chat. Where are the W's at? What the heck? Published to platforms. Hold on here. There's no way. Hold on, let's go to BridgeMind. Oh my gosh, we did it, guys. Look at this. Hey, let's go, chat. You guys see this? So I was really able to run that agent, and it posted all the way to X. So, wow. Shoot. W's in the chat. What the heck? All right, hold on, guys. I was actually not expecting that to work right there. Astrobot. Like 10 W's in the chat. Wow, okay. Okay. So, I mean, shoot, guys, that's awesome. All right. Yeah, it worked first try. So now the question is, can we do like a single image? Is that possible? So like we can do, what do you want to publish? Select which platform. So let's do Facebook and X. So let's do Instagram, X, and Facebook, right? And then we'll do, yes, that looks good. So BridgeMind, and then we'll do immediate, and then we'll work on the, We'll work on this. Aperium said, bro, you are unstoppable. Like, personally, I've observed you. Huge more to come. Love you, brother. Aperium, you too, man. You too. I've been super impressed by your work as well. We're going to get this AI clipping agent, man. We've got this. And after the stream, I do need to help you with the log stuff. I hope that's going okay. Also, you know, something, I'm just going to be honest with you guys and just kind of tell you guys something that's real. So, you know, when I first started doing this, I was waking up at like 5 a.m. every day, and for some reason, like over time, maybe around like day 60 or 70, I started like waking up around 7 a.m. and I have noticed an effect, and I'm just gonna be like completely honest with you guys. Like, you know, if you wake up at 5 a.m., I would be able to like read for an hour, read, write, you know, spend some time just like meditating, you know, and then I would be able to work out, and then I would be able to like get ready for the stream and like stream, right? But the problem that I've been having is that I've been waking up more around like 7 a.m. and I've lost those 2 hours in the morning. So for example, I'm more rushed, and then by the time that I get on stream, I'm rushed. And then by the time I get off stream, sometimes I'm a little bit tired. And I still work off stream, but just my point is that I don't do the reading or the writing or these other things that I'm passionate about after the stream. I'm a little bit more tired. And starting tomorrow, like the reason that I say that the stream start time and stuff is about to change up a little bit is because tomorrow I'm going back to the 5 a.m. wake up time. And I'm just going to be like completely honest with you guys. I have not been doing the 5 a.m. I've been more around 7 a.m. And like, this is just kind of like a casting call to you guys as well, is because like it does make a difference. If you're waking up at 7 a.m. versus 5 a.m., your entire world is different, right? And I'm just telling you guys, like tomorrow, my alarm is set for 5 a.m. Honestly, I'm going to set it right now in front of you guys. And we can keep each other accountable. Like for you guys, like if you guys want to join me in this, but I really do, like, let's just turn on the 5 a.m. alarm. It's on for tomorrow. You know, I think we've got to get back to that, guys, because you know, you have to put yourself in check. It's like, hey, if you don't put yourself in check from time to time, you know, you can lose it pretty fast. Is all I've got to say. Create an infographic post about vibe coding. So that's why it's like, hey, for example, if I'm waking up at 5, I'm able to get on the stream at 10, and I'm like refreshed mentally and all this stuff. And yeah, I need to get back to that. I need to get back to that for sure. Plan out what the post is going to look like. Aperium said, from last 1 week, I am sleeping only 6 hours and working for 14 hours in a day. Aperium, you're crazy, man. You are on your grind, dude. I respect it. Create an infographic about vibe coding. And then publish the post. I mean, I would doubt that this works. I mean, if this worked, I mean, this is like a whole new thing, because then you're dealing with media URLs here. Blocker Taz says that the grind is on. The grind is back on, guys, 100%. Cloud MCSR said, I'm a Muslim. We wake up at 4 to 6 a.m. to pray, and after that do work out, and study. It's one of the most blessed times of the day. That's awesome. Jesse said it's 2 a.m. here. All right, hold on. I created the image, but it's going to publish. Publishing is running right now. Publish the post. I doubt it's going to publish. Here's the infographic, though. What? It published? Nah, that can't be true. Oh my gosh. Chat. Chat. Guys, W's in the chat. Do we have this working? I mean, we don't have scheduling working yet, but are you kidding me? Do we get that working? Okay, so it did X. So the question is, can we get, I mean, is it actually published on Instagram? Oh my gosh, guys. Wow. That's actually crazy. It's right there. I'm gonna like my own post. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know what this is. Igni cell. I don't know what that is, but okay. Okay, so this is a lot of potential, guys. Wow. Whew. Isn't this Linux? Follow Linux. Okay, so if you guys are like, first of all, W's in the chat, like this is actually crazy. So yeah, we can hit some push-ups and pull-ups, but I'm just kind of like taking this in a little bit because this is a pretty big deal. Because like if you zoom out, you look at what we've done to date, right? Which is we have integrated with these social media APIs, but we have not yet actually created a way where it's like fully automated, right? Where yes, we have AI features where you can drop a video in, you can clip it, you can drop the video in, you can publish and schedule from ViewCreator, but we have not actually gotten these agents where it's connected with the endpoints, right? But now it looks like it's working. I mean, is Facebook good too? Did that post go to Facebook? Let's check. Hold on here. Wow. Yeah, so it went to all three. Dang. That's actually crazy. So I think that this is going to be a pretty big focus of this week. We'll need to be focusing on this, but I mean, we just got it working in what, 3 hours? How long has the stream been? We got it working in 3 hours and 27 minutes. Wow, dang. Okay. So I'm going to push this. I think that this is a good stopping point for right now. I'm going to push this. This is a ton of progress, guys, because I think that this is going to be like the main focus of this week. Because, you know, if you guys saw yesterday's stream, literally NS and I, we were talking, we were like, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to create social media accounts, and we're still waiting on the TikTok verification because once we get TikTok, it's going to be a game changer. But I'm talking about complete social media marketing automation. Complete. Like cursor level automation, but for social media marketing. That's what we're going to be. That's what we're going to create. And yes, the image generation, the video generation, it's not there yet. But guys, 2026, that's going to change. And if we continue to work on this, and if we continue to build a community, this is going to be successful. So let's just keep moving forward. Like I said, guys, the alarm is set for 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm going to start streaming for more like 6 hours, because I think that schedule is just a little bit more feasible for me. So let's do this, guys. Everybody stay in there. Whatever you're working on, hang in there. Let's keep grinding. Let's keep showing up. And like I said, 100 on 100, guys, you know, make progress every day, but 1 unit of time is 100 days. And we've got this, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to end the stream for today. But also, Aperium, I'm going to hit you up with what you need right after the stream so we can get that settled. But appreciate you guys. Shout out to Jesse, J35, and Linux. Thank you guys for setting up the project sharing event. Jesse, really appreciate it. And shout out to those that shared their projects today. And let's just keep it going, guys. Let's keep going. I'll see you guys tomorrow.